What's up, everybody? How's it going? How's it going? How is everybody doing tonight? Welcome, everybody. It's been a minute since I've seen any of you guys. So, we're just going to wait for some people to come and hang out. Storm is in the building. What's up, Storm? Let's turn these comments on. Go, Mom. How you doing? How you doing? I feel like I have not been on in forever. Storm, how you doing? Coco Mom, how you doing? There's a lot happened today, and it's Monday, y'all. It's crazy. Jad, welcome, Jad. Coco Mom, how you doing? How's recovery been? Recovery going well? Secret Shade, how's it going? I see you. What's up? What's up? We got a small crowd tonight. The consequences of not being consistent, you guys. That's what happens. Emmy Blondie, welcome. Pretty many developments today, for sure, right? 100%. It's crazy. I didn't think it was going to be this crazy today. It's Monday. It's Monday. Oh, Coco Mom could be doing better. You were doing too much. You just gotta slow down sometimes, Coco Mom. Don't be doing the most. We don't want you back in the hospital. Coco Mom. Gifting 5 memberships already? Well, thank you so much. Hold on really quick. Let me make sure. Well, shout out to Kokomon just gifted 5 memberships. So if you received the membership in the chat, make sure you thank her. Congrats to Native Girl Tara. Jay, Silly Little Fairy. Right, exactly what Storm said. Kokomon, stay your ass out the hospital. So what happened, you guys? What happened today? There were so many things that happened, and actually, we're just gonna, we're gonna hang out. We're gonna watch a few videos, and if you guys have already seen them, I'm sorry. I'm always late to the party, so you know how it is. DJ Sino Evil hanging out on Twitch. What's up? What's up? How's it going? Hey, okay, I see you, DJ Sino Evil. So what actually happened today, right? Obviously, Easter was yesterday, so I hope everybody had a beautiful, blessed Easter. Hung out with family, right? Anybody do anything exciting for Easter? Because I stayed home. Cindy, how's it going? Welcome, Cindy. How you doing? I guess Mama Flo is modding on both Twitch and YouTube, but anyways. So what do we have, right? We have a public return that kind of had everybody emotional. Who got emotional during Savannah's return to the Today Show on NBC? Anybody get emotional? Heather said you packed. Hey, welcome, Heather, one of our newest mods. Oh, that's awesome, Coco Mom. Thanksgiving, Easter. Did you guys have a turkey? I mean, you can't really call it a Thanksgiving if you don't have a turkey, right? So Savannah returned to the Today Show on NBC. It was pretty emotional for some people, right? And everybody was talking about what they noticed and what they didn't, right? And one of the things they talked about was how decorative the whole place was, and it was full of yellow flowers, yellow ribbons, etc. So one of the videos that I have pulled up, let me make sure that I have it ready to go. Some people are not a fan, but you know what? Over here we are, and we do watch our friend Ashley Banfield. So we're going to be reacting to not her entire video, right? Because she put out 2 videos today, and one was an hour long. The other one was 29 minutes. But the second video that she put out today is the one that I really want to focus on, because there were a lot of things that she talked about. She also had Harvey, Sheriff Harvey on, as you guys saw in the thumbnail. But she had Sheriff Harvey on, and okay, so you did have turkey. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. But she did have Sheriff Harvey on, and there was a lot of information that I feel like was brand new to me. So we'll have an opportunity to talk about them. Let me see who else we have in here. I know, Storm. Mollywood, what's going on? Harvey is, huh? He's been having a rough day. Coco Mom, I just got your donation on Cash App. Thank you so much for your Cash App donation. I really appreciate you supporting the channel as always. Obsidian, what's going on? How's it going? Welcome. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get right into it, because here, we're not going to watch the entire video, right? But Ashley Banfield put out a video, and she basically summarized and kind of went into detail on Savannah's return on the Today Show. And I thought she did a pretty good job kind of summarizing and, sharing her thoughts on Savannah's return. So let's go ahead and get right into it, you guys. Let me just switch views here. Which one do I like better? This one? No, this one's good. All right, you guys, here you go.
Today I'm doing an early one. It's April 6th, Monday, day 65 in the Nancy Guthrie investigation. It's an important day for Savannah Guthrie. This was her first day back on the Today Show. I have a ton for you today about this. It may not seem significant to you. It's actually really huge for a lot of reasons. First of all, I'm going to show you a whole bunch of clips that I thought were very significant throughout the 2-hour show that she did today with her colleagues. And then I've got a really special guest who's joining me. Brian Baltazar worked with me at NBC. He was a producer of mine on the shows that I did on MSNBC, and we've remained friends all these years. He's also been not only a producer on the
Cindy, thank you so much for your $5 super chat. Hearts. Circle gang. Inner Circle family, what's up?
Today Show, I think for over a decade, and he became like that with Kathy Lee Gifford. But he's also been a guest on the Today Show a lot, so he's very familiar with the protocol, the traditional, the standard, the format, the everything, and all the personalities when it comes to the Today Show. So he's going to join me with his thoughts about the program today, the significance of it, how hard it is. It's not just showing up on TV, y'all. It is hard to do one of those shows. You work all the day before, at night, you try to get a good sleep. You get up at about, I don't know, crack of ass, like 3 o'clock in the morning, maybe 2 a.m. if you're a lady, because we got to do the hair and makeup. The boys don't have to do so much. But it is a lot. And then, of course,
I don't think she's ever going to answer, but it would be nice though if we did get something, right? But of course, you see that face? It's not going to happen.
Course, you throw the pressure of everything that Savannah's been under and the emotional strain that she is still under and the grieving, and then try to put on your happy face and do a show like that. So I want to go over some of the significant parts of the show that I thought really stood out. First and foremost, they opened the show in a standard way. There was nothing different that
Storm, you always got to have receipts, right? If you don't have receipts, it's not going to matter.
The Today Show producers did to, change anything up. Like Savannah came in ready to work and do the standard job that she always did. I actually figured they would have her on tape a lot, that they'd help her ease in slowly, back her off, not have to do so much live. Nope. She did absolutely everything that she does normally. There was
Does she really? I'm curious. Who is it? I want to see.
one interview that Craig Melvin did that I think might have been strategic because it was emotional and it might have been really hard for her. No idea. Could have been Craig anyway on a normal day had the whole Nancy Guthrie tragedy not befallen Savannah. But
Ooh, Coco Mom. That's right. I did see that not too long ago. Actually, Storm and I were actually talking about. Storm was the one who let me know. So yeah, we'll probably towards the end of the show we'll kind of go into it and we'll talk a little bit about it. I haven't been able to read up on it. I just heard that he was shot outside, close to a casino. But we'll definitely go into it. Felicia, how's it going? What's up? What's up?
they opened the show and Savannah was wearing a yellow dress.
I really think that set looked really nice. You can see all the nice yellow roses, all the other flowers that were there. You can see Savannah's wearing that beautiful yellow dress. And then you can see, I don't even know this guy on the right. What's his name? Craig? Craig's wearing the yellow ribbon on his lapel. And you can see his tie's yellow. So it looked pretty nice.
And there were yellow flowers in the backdrop. And then throughout the show, you notice there are yellow flowers all throughout the studio. I don't think that's an accident. Everybody knows you tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree to signify wanting someone in your life, a loved one, to come home. And there have been yellow flowers all out in front of Nancy Guthrie's home throughout this horrible ordeal. And people on the Today Show have been wearing yellow ribbons as well. So yellow is a significant color, clearly. It signifies to everybody, not just Today Show watchers or people who've been watching the Nancy Guthrie story, but ever since Tony Orlando and Dawn sang that song back in the 70s. I remember it well. Tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree. It's been 3 long years. Do you still love me? Anyway, so yellow has come to signify that for everybody well before this story began. And so Savannah was wearing a bright yellow, beautiful dress, and Craig was wearing a yellow tie as well. So they opened the show in a standard way with the regular headlines, news about Iran, about the Artemis shuttle, about President Trump's profanity-laced tweet, everything. And then they came up on the two of them, at which point it was the first acknowledgement that, okay, it is a bit weird, and I'm glad to be back. And Craig acknowledged he was glad to have her back. Here's how it looked.
This is Today with Savannah Guthrie and Craig Melvin from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
Pretty shot of the sun coming up. Good morning. Welcome to Today on this Monday morning. We are so glad you started your week with us, and it is good to be home.
Yes, it is good to have you back at home.
Well, here we go. Ready or not, let's do the news.
Yes, so good to have you back. All right, there's a lot happening here on a Monday morning. We're going to begin with those fast-moving headlines.
So then they went right to the news, and they did it the way they normally do, jogging back and forth between Craig does a line and Savannah does a headline, etc. And then they came to the first on-set interview. Pressure's on, stress is on. There's a former career military man sitting on the set live with Craig and Savannah, and they're going to interview him about the missing airman who was rescued in Iran. This is emotional too, right? Because this airman spent a couple of days.
And then Iraq here having a down evening. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us. I know it's been a while since I've been on. It's just, I don't know. Just haven't had the urge or the will to stream. I don't know. It's just gotten a little weird, but I'm here. So I'm having a better night. So, and then Iraq, I hope you have a great night too. So welcome. Leah, how's it going? Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Wedged into a crevice, I think 7,000 feet up a mountain, trying to hide from the Iranians after the Iranians shot down his and his fellow pilots' fighter craft. And so he was injured, and this was a hell of an ordeal, and it took over 100 military to rescue this missing airman in a Black Ops operation. And his family would have been in trauma. Like,
it's crazy too, because I heard about this, the pilot that crashed his plane because he was hit. Then I heard the crazy stunt that the CIA pulled off to ensure his safety. So if we have time to talk about it, maybe we'll get into it. So I thought it was pretty clever, right? And anyways, they were able to save him, right? We'll talk about it.
Savannah. So this is a kind of a difficult interview. So the fact that Savannah did the interview with Craig and the airman on set, I thought was very significant. Take a look and see how she handled it.
Let's take a deeper dive into that dramatic rescue. And we turn now to retired Colonel Steve Warren, an NBC News military analyst, former Pentagon spokesperson. Colonel Warren, good morning. I mean, let's give credit where credit is due. This was an incredibly complicated and courageous effort to retrieve that airman. And we were just talking to really speaks to the best of American values, leaving nobody behind.
So there you go. I mean, Savannah did not break. She did her job as she would have.
Okay, so basically, in a nutshell, right, when it came to saving this pilot, basically what the CIA did was they kind of put out this like all points bulletin to people of Iran, basically like on the first night, saying that the pilot has been rescued, right? Because they later on to find out that they really couldn't find him. So it took, I don't know how long it took, but I guess he was wedged in between this place, like 7,000 feet elevation. And it took him a couple of days, but the CIA had mentioned that they found him on day one. So then that way it would kind of, alert the Iranian people that he's already been found. So I thought that was pretty crazy.
Any other day, you wouldn't have noticed a difference. So really, really professional, very strong for her to be able to conduct that very professionally, get to the news of the matter. And, she was involved in it. She agreed to be involved in that interview. So the next thing I noticed, there's an NYPD policeman in.
You're right. Blondie, she definitely looked like she was on the verge of tears, right? I don't know if I was placed in this situation. I don't even know how long of a time that I would need just to return, right? I feel like I probably wouldn't have had the courage or the will to return at all. But here she is, 65 days later, right? Only took 2.5 months, 2 months for her to return, right? And the worst part about all of it is that there are still zero answers. That's the part that's hard, right?
Over their shoulder in the plaza behind them. Not weird. Okay. So typically big crowds are at the Today Show in the plaza. They're in the window behind, and there is usually some sort of security back there. Some viewers might have thought, ooh, look, there's an NYPD cop. Maybe this is unusual. They're nervous about what could happen. There might have been a bit of that. I don't know, but it's also not unusual to have security or NYPD out there in the back. I just thought it was a little strange that he's right there in view, right? And he's the only person in view. There's no crowds. It's just the NYPD cops. So that was in the backdrop. Then they went to March Madness, and Savannah kind of made her first joke and laughed. And it was really sweet because I guess, she had to acknowledge that the UCLA women's basketball team won the championship. And I guess that wasn't Craig's team. So she sort of went, earmuffs, Craig. Here's how it looked.
Switch gears now to the excitement of college basketball. Earmuffs, Craig. UCLA just crushed South Carolina.
Look at UCLA just pulling off the win. Shout out to UCLA. Damn, I heard they killed it. The game was crazy. Congratulations, though.
And it'll be the school's very first. It's strong but appropriate.
Then the next moment that was very sweet, and again, everything was very quick.
Are her kids really that young, 8 and 12? I do remember her saying in the interview with Hoda that I guess the day that she found out, that she spent the day at Carson Daly's home so that their kids could play together. So I'm assuming that maybe they have kids who are similar in age.
Right? They did not dwell. They didn't make it syrupy. They just did it very professionally, acknowledging the elephant in the room that Savannah's back, but moving on and doing the show professionally, doing the news, doing the segments. And they threw to Al Roker for the normal weather segment where they throw across the studio and he looks back at them. And Al made his first comment towards Savannah. It was very sweet. He said, I just like looking over here. So here's how that transpired.
Look who's here this morning, Mr. Roker.
Well, I just like looking over here.
So good morning, sunshine.
Good to see you, my dear. All right.
So, of course, Savannah says good morning, sunshine to him. Again, a very bright and uplifting moment for her. And I'm sure a joyous moment. Al has been there forever. He's the longest running talent on morning television at this point, and certainly on the Today Show. And so the next moment, they had wrapped up the first segment of Savannah's Today Show return. It was about, 15 or so minutes into the hour they're going to throw to break. And then you'll see that, I guess Craig just wanted to acknowledge to Savannah, this, you made it. You made it through your first moment back on television. The first live block is over. We're going to commercial break. We can stop down, take a breath. And he gave her, a high five. I thought it was a little bit awkward. It was kind of a high five. It was a little aggressive, given that, Savannah is, I think, in a bit of a delicate, way. Certainly didn't show that she was in a delicate way, but this is how the high five out to break looked. So now they come back after commercial break. This is how fast the show goes, right? It's
that high five one more time, you guys.
I think in a bit of a delicate, way. Certainly didn't show that she was in a delicate way, but this is how the high five out to break looked. So now they come back.
Almost fucking knocked her off her seat, dude. Damn, relax.
After commercial break, this is how fast the show goes, right? It's already 7:30. The half hour is done. It was just one segment. They go to the locals, they do some segments, some commercials, and then they come back to the National Today Show team in New York. And at this point, Carson Daly has joined the set. Now, Carson and Savannah are very good friends off air. In fact, if you think back to the How to Copy interview with Savannah, she actually mentioned Carson Daly. She mentioned that she had just spent some time over at Carson's with their kids when she actually got the news from her sister Annie that their mom was missing. So it's 7:30. Carson's on the set now.
For reals, Lee, I'm saying you almost knocked her off her stool. Shit. Relax, dude. But anyways, you can see that Ashley Banfield literally just mentioned what we were just talking about. They were hanging out at Carson's house the day that they found out, which is pretty sad, right? To kind of receive this. First Liberties podcast. How's it going? Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Carson actually acknowledges all the folks out on the plaza. Many of them have signs that they've brought. Welcome home, Savannah. One woman actually had Savannah and her mom on a sign. I'm sure that would have been so hard for Savannah to see that, but also heartwarming.
We are back at 7:30, back with Carson, back with Al, back.
Look at that. You see everybody here with their yellow ribbons. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. I don't know how I would have handled it if I would have walked out there and seen everybody with signs. Obviously, people are there to come watch the show, but obviously, we know on a special occasion, on a day like this, they're really out here to see Savannah, right?
With that big crowd out on the plaza, a lot of those folks out on the plaza to welcome back our dear friend.
Yay. Some beautiful signs out there.
There's been signs for so long. They're going to be so excited to see them.
I'm excited to see them, give them all a hug, and really feeling the love so much.
Welcome back.
Good to be back.
Great to have you. Guys, we got a lot to get to, starting with a remarkable moment nearly 50.
Savannah then goes into this interview with everybody about the Artemis mission to the moon. And it's the first time Savannah really laughs, and it's super sweet. Take a look.
Yeah, with all the modern technology we have now, it's going to really contribute to what's going to be happening next.
The fact that they can send back images and do interviews, the Wi-Fi must be incredible.
Yeah. Well, I sent Victor some email, but I haven't heard back from him yet. But he did send.
You guys hear about this Artemis, the rocket that launched into space? That's crazy, you guys. They had trouble with their toilet like 3 times, and it took them hours to get it fixed. Apparently, some part of the toilet froze. That's crazy.
The group
NASA just needs to get it together.
A group email with some photos, and they're able to. It's great.
That's amazing. The toilet may not work, but the 5G is working.
Yeah.
Then Jenna Bush joins the set. Now there's all 6 of them up there, and Jenna and Savannah are also very good friends, have been for a long time. Savannah's acknowledged that many times in her Instagram and on set, etc. They spend a lot of time off air together.
Is this the Jenna Bush, the daughter of George W. Bush?
There as well. Kids around the same age too, I believe. And Jenna has a segment called Morning Boost, and she says something so sweet to her friend. She says, "We don't even need a morning boost because we have our sunshine back." And she reaches across and holds her friend Savannah's hand. She reaches across Carson, but too bad if it's awkward. I'm going to get over there and hold your hand. Here's how it looked.
We're back, and Jenna is here, and we've got a morning boost.
We don't even need a boost because we have our sun to shine back. But I'm bringing you a boost. Let's do it. It's my job.
So that was a really sweet, uplifting, lighthearted moment. Then it got funny again, and Savannah again got into the fun. They did this segment. Boy, I wish I'd known about this, by the way. The segment when I had kids, because
Yeah, you definitely can't call the space plumber on that one. And NASA gets 2 thumbs down for that one. Jesus.
I could not stop their tantrums, and I was looking for every magic bullet I could find. Turns out there's this TikTok sensation out there where if your kid is screaming and yelling, you just
All right, parents, I want to know if this actually works. Okay, so listen to this. I want you guys to tell me, because I'm not a parent, I don't have kids, but I want to know if this actually works.
There's the kids, because I could not stop their tantrums, and I was looking for every magic bullet I could find. Turns out there's,
you know what though, Storm, I was actually asking myself the same thing. I mean, I do appreciate the fact that she was able to just kind of summarize everything, but then she had her own little take as to like why everything may have happened. So I was like, yeah, I don't know if this is necessary. But I mean, it was nice for her to just summarize it, but some of the commentary was absolutely unnecessary.
this TikTok sensation out there where if your kid is screaming and yelling, you just pretend there's someone named Jessica where they can't see her, and you call for Jessica's help, and the kid instantly stops crying. The tantrums completely end, and it's really hilarious. And so they're throwing to it, and Savannah's laughing. Take a look.
Carson, do you want to try to have a meltdown and see if Jessica works?
Sure.
Let's do it. All right. Well,
Don't tempt me with a good time.
So now they reopen the 8 a.m. hour. So it's kind of a reset. And usually the 8 a.m. hour is a little more lighthearted. And this is where I was thinking there might be something a bit bigger to welcome Savannah back. No way, man. They are sticking to business
said, nope,
and doing the show professionally. And so Craig and Savannah welcome everybody back. And again, there's a mention. It's good to be back home on the Today Show. And, you know, Craig says, good to have you back. And they mentioned the "We Love You, Savannah" signs out in the crowd, which is very sweet. It's the window backdrop now for the 8 a.m. hour, and you're starting to see the people and their signs in the backdrop. You didn't see that in the 7 a.m. hour. Then they do their regular news headlines, and they throw to the interview. I mentioned this off the top of this podcast, that Terry Crews, who is the America's Got Talent. It's hard to say. He joined the Today Show with his wife, Rebecca.
And this is crazy too to hear. Poor Terry and Rebecca to be going through this right now.
To make an announcement. I did not know this. Maybe everybody else did, and I'm the last to know, but Rebecca Crews has Parkinson's and has been living with Parkinson's, very serious Parkinson's, and has undergone a very new cutting edge treatment. I think it's a non-invasive focused brain ultrasound. And so they sat on the couch and they did the interview with Craig.
Horses, but not friends.
This is an emotional interview. This is Terry Crews with his wife, who has been suffering immensely and went through this really, risky procedure to try to.
Wait, Chloe said no clue, but no clue about Jessica, but YouTube has videos of fake phone calls from police officers asking your kids if they've ever been to a children's jail. Oh, I feel like I've seen those videos, and those kids are just crying. Just tell them, okay, we're gonna send police over there to pick you up. No.
Get her Parkinson's under control. And this interview went to Craig. It might have anyway, but I just thought, if given the choice, would have Savannah said, this is very emotional. I'm in an emotional state right now. I think maybe I better not do this interview. Who knows why they made the decision? The decision is made. Like I said, could have been in any other day that was normal. Craig would have done the interview, but I just noticed it, that right away, this was a moment that would have been a little tough for Savannah to conduct. Then after the Terry Crews and his wife, Rebecca interview, they have the first moment where all six are on the couch. It goes from the anchor set now over to the couch. All six of them are there. And Savannah makes an acknowledgement about having kind of been out of the game, for a couple of months. They're talking about The Voice. And she says, spoiler alert, I haven't caught up. My family and I haven't caught up on the episodes yet.
My kids and I watch The Voice all the time. Spoiler alert, though, because we're not
even know The Voice was still going on. Who hosts the show now? Anybody watch it? Because I definitely have not. Brandon, what's going on? Brandon, what's up?
not fully caught up yet.
Yeah,
but it is the best show to watch with your kids.
It is one of the few family-friendly shows. We take great pride in that over there.
It's really fun.
That's why you're like season 43.
That's exactly right. That's right. Keep them coming.
Yeah, we're calling the police. We're going to call the police.
Greg. Keep them coming.
Just ahead, guys, we have a Hollywood legend in our studio. Keanu Reeves is here.
Okay, now it is the bottom of the hour, 8:30. This is when they move the whole thing outside every day, and they're in the plaza with all the fans. I figured this was going to be the most emotional.
Nancy says, I just discovered I've been given a gift subscription. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Who was it that gifted? It must have been from Coco Mom. So Coco Mom gifted 5 memberships earlier. So you probably received it from Coco Mom earlier tonight. So just make sure that you thank her in the chat. So let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Time for Savannah, because there's everybody, you know, people who have this outpouring of love and support and emotion for Savannah. They've brought their signs. Welcome back. There's again that sign with Savannah and her mom Nancy on it, which Savannah's going to see when she comes out in the plaza. She probably has already seen it. They did do something different here. They had the other anchors out in the plaza. They welcomed everybody back to the 8:30, bottom of the hour at the Today Show. And then they said, and, here's Savannah, come on out, SG. I think Al Roker said, come on out, SG. And this is the moment where Savannah actually walks out. Normally she'd be there. You'd open the cameras up at 8:30 and she'd be there. But this was kind of like a grand entrance or exit, so to speak. And Savannah is in her coat and she's in very, very high heels. And Jenna is holding on to her arm. Now, I thought, well, you don't need to hold on to her arm. She's fine. But she was wearing very high heels. So I thought maybe that was why. But it looked like a show of support to hold Savannah as they walked out together to the plaza. This is what it looked like.
We're welcoming back our North Star.
Yes. Hypercritical of her return. I didn't realize it was this extensive. This is crazy.
Gee, come on.
Mom, thank you so much for your $10 super chat. Thanks everyone for the prayers and encouragement. Good night to all. Coco Mom, thank you so much for your support. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Have a good night, Coco Mom.
Come on out here. Come on back up.
It's crazy, right? The Electric Snails, you said, I wonder if media coverage on Nancy's case will lessen now that Savannah is back to work in media. I doubt they will have her covering the case. Will her co-workers still while she's around? I was thinking about this too. Like, what are they going to do in the event that there are some new breaks in the case, right? Who's going to report on that? I mean, is Savannah going to step away? Is she going to... I mean, obviously that's the right thing to do. Right, I feel like that's the only thing that the Today Show can do is just let her step away. But I thought it was pretty weird too. Like, what's gonna happen if there's some new details, right, or some really horrible news?
Good morning. Good morning.
DJ See No Evil, you like the way her high heels look?
They've been waiting for it.
These signs are so beautiful. You guys have been so beautiful. I've received so many letters, so much kindness to me and my whole family. We feel it. We feel your prayers. So thank you so much.
It's not just today. They've been out here
every day.
every day.
This is such a nice
signs.
pocket square. I don't want to slobber on it. Okay, no, it is. I know. I'm sorry.
How little is a million of them?
Okay. We love you.
Our Rover's always looking fresh. Look at him, all dapper.
Morning.
Then they come back and Savannah has another really cute chuckle about this segment they're going to do on the 50th anniversary of the Charlie's Angels show. Here's what it looked like.
A superstar.
My 15-year-old self got very excited. Very excited. Deep down on the inside. I started to move around when I saw that. I had a poster of the Charlie.
Oh, bet you did. I was just saying, which one did you want to be?
Cheryl Lai.
Yeah, I wanted to be Jacqueline.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to be Bosley.
You were Charlie. Yeah. All right, let's get a check of the weather.
And then they threw to break, and then you see Savannah over at the crowd acknowledging the folks who are there and also like taking a selfie as they're going to break. You can just slightly hear Savannah's voice as they head to break.
You ready?
She took selfies with the audience.
When they come back from break, you'll notice that again, Craig,
These cuts are just so damn fast. Jesus.
Melvin takes the interview with Keanu Reeves. Now, that's not going to be an emotional interview. So whatever it was, maybe Savannah just wanted to back off a little and say, Craig, you do the heavier lifting, the live stuff. I don't want to worry about a wild card if a celebrity starts acknowledging this moment, and I struggle with it. Who knows why the decision was made? It might have been made anyway. But I just noticed that Craig did the full Keanu Reeves interview, and then they threw back to the last segment that Savannah did. And that was a segment with Jenna on the couch. And they talked about perimenopause. It was kind of an easy, lighter interview, but serious about health and nothing that would sort of strike a chord and make things difficult.
Hey, good morning. The zone of chaos.
Yeah, wow.
Man, preach. Ain't that the truth? Okay, what do you say? The new perimenopause makes it sound like the new fashionable thing. What do you mean by that?
So a lot of women are blindsided by this.
Well, also, when does it start? I mean, let's talk about it. The zone of chaos sounds like a roller coaster ride.
Or a great band name.
Yes, exactly.
And that effectively was it. There was no goodbye. Savannah didn't say goodbye. I think they do this on purpose. They kind of throw to the next segment. It goes to Carson Daly. Carson Daly goes to break, and then they open up on the third hour, and that is a whole new cast. And so there was no official goodbye. There was no official thank you so much for helping me through this. None of that. It was just the segment's over to you, Carson. And that was the end of Savannah's appearance on the Today Show. But man, oh man, did she ever do a
Brandon, you crazy. You got menopause from this story? Just drives you crazy, huh?
great job. Talk about grace under pressure. And it could not have been easy. I'm telling you that.
Sorry, I just hear the neighbor's dogs barking. It's very rare and seldom that they do. So you got Yoshi running over to the door.
The whole stress of being live, knowing that the world would be watching. I'm sure that the ratings will go through the roof. There's a lot of promotion that this was going to be Savannah's first day back. And hats off to her. I don't think I could have done it. It's why she is at the top of her game, in the top position in television. And, I think most everybody would join me in saying,
Foxy said, isn't it interesting how something that used to upset us so much when we were younger does the exact opposite now that we're old? Take a nap? F yes. I'm getting the belt? Yes, daddy.
congratulations. We're proud of you, Savannah, and we're all rooting for you as you continue on in this, I don't even know what to call it, this netherworld of sadness and confusion, but also forging ahead with your family and your career. I now want to talk to Brian Baltazar, because if anybody has insight into the inner workings of everything that went on to put this show on and what it looked like when it was on, Brian is the guy. Not only has he been a part of the NBC family since I was there back in 1999, but he's also been on both sides of the camera. He was a Today Show producer. He's been a Today Show guest. He was an MSNBC producer. And, partly talent, partly producer, and also tight with a lot of the producing staff and the talent. Here's my conversation with Brian. Brian, first of all, it's
okay. If any of you guys watch this, let me know if it's worth watching, because I don't know if we need to watch all this, right? Let me see where we at. I do want to just kind of turn our attention over here, because Brian Enton put out a video today, and I watched a few minutes of it, and he talks about the whole TMZ ransom. So I thought it was going to be something good to share, discuss with you guys. Let's kind of see what's going on with it.
Much for checking out my show. I really, really appreciate it. Please click to subscribe. I really appreciate it.
Look, Brian Enton's got his whole script down every time that he starts his YouTube video.
All of your support of my channel. Today is day 65 in the search for Nancy Guthrie, and there is some new news that just came down a little while ago. TMZ is now reporting that they have received yet another ransom note, and they're giving some very specific details of what that note said. I'm going to get to that in just a second. Also, Savannah Guthrie was back on the Today Show for the first time since her mother, Nancy Guthrie, disappeared. And one thing that I'm wondering is it just a coincidence that TMZ has received this new alleged ransom note on the same day that Savannah Guthrie went back to work. Look, I don't know if this ransom note is real. I think most of the ransom notes have been fake. I think that TMZ has overblown a lot of these notes. And I'm going to get to exactly what it says in a second. But I have wondered if when Savannah Guthrie went back to work, would that spark new interest in the case? Would that spark whoever did this to somehow do something differently or react differently? So it's something that's kind of been in the back of my mind. I was wondering if there was going to be some kind of development today. So anyway, I'll get to the TMZ note in a minute. First, I do want to reference, though, Savannah going back to the Today Show this morning. She said that she had received many letters, that she had received so much kindness. She said, "Good morning. Welcome to Today on this Monday morning. We are so glad you started your week with us, and it is good to be home." She wore yellow. And she later went outside, you know how the Today Show anchors do, and was taking pictures with fans outside. And there were all these people who had signs saying, "Welcome back, Savannah." And there was no real direct mention of Nancy Guthrie or of the investigation or anything, but it seemed emotional, obviously, with her first day back after everything that she has been through, and was obviously took an enormous amount of strength. And she has just been really incredible through this entire thing, in my opinion. Okay, back to this TMZ note. So I'm going to read, I took notes of what TMZ is saying happened here with this latest ransom note. They are saying that a person has been incessantly contacting us. They use that word, incessantly. That they received another letter saying, "I know where her body is and where the kidnapper is. Give us half a Bitcoin and I will tell you." And again, they were saying this person has been very persistent. This is someone who has contacted them in the past, wanted to make clear they have nothing to do with it, meaning Nancy Guthrie's disappearance, that they've been out of the country, but that they know who the kidnapper is and where the body is. And Harvey Levin at TMZ says that they forwarded the letter to the FBI. He said, "My spidey senses say there is something about this guy." So it doesn't seem like he's totally discounting the letter.
I know it's not Snickers time yet, is it? I hope it's not Snickers time. Is this Snickers time? Do we need to drop a Snickers in the chat? Okay, so let me just make sure that we're all clear here. Everybody here can have their own opinion, right? But let's make sure that we are not bashing any of the people in the chat, nor going after anybody that's being talked about. Because obviously, anybody that's being discussed here is nobody's even a suspect, right? Well, obviously, even if there was, they're innocent until proven guilty, right? So your opinions here are welcome. But let's keep it cordial in the chat, you guys.
At one point, said time, Harvey Levin said at one point, the same person who emailed before said time was of the essence, then later said time was no longer of the essence, which it seems like is making Harvey Levin think that this is legit, because
I went too.
The person may have sent the first note when
I went to Trader Joe's today before I came home after I got off of work. I didn't get no chocolate, but I did get some chocolate covered raisins, because I'm an old fart. I love my chocolate covered raisins, you guys. So don't hate me.
They knew that Nancy Guthrie was alive, and then
perhaps Mom gifted another 5 memberships. So if you guys received a membership, make sure you thank Coco Mom in the chat. Welcome Vicky, Crystal, I plead the fifth, Pam, Todd, and the Amanda. Welcome to the inner circle, you guys. Make sure you thank Coco Mom in the chat.
Sent the second note when they knew that Nancy Guthrie was no longer.
Coco Mom is still here. She just can't leave, but that's okay. We love Coco Mom over here.
Alive now. I don't know what to make of these TMZ notes. I'm
about to
be skeptical. I mean, are they just looking for attention? They make a good headline for TMZ every time.
Okay, so I'm curious, you guys, before Brian Hinton goes on, I want to know, what are your thoughts on all of these ransoms? Do you guys believe them? Wait, hold on. Obsidian, you said yogurt covered raisins? What? Where? Is that like a Canadian thing? I have never seen yogurt covered raisins.
They report on one of these. But again, I think the timing is interesting that this is coming on the same day that Savannah Guthrie is back at the Today Show. And I think it's interesting that Harvey Levin is saying that his spidey senses say there is something about this guy. I also think you have to remember that Savannah Guthrie said when she did her Today Show interview that she believed that 2 of the ransom notes were perhaps legit, which actually surprised me. That was probably the most surprising part of the interview for me, because I did not think that she was going to say that. I just assumed that they realized that none of them were legit, but she said she believes the 2 are legit. And now we have.
All right, you guys, y'all need to tell me where I can find these yogurt covered raisins, because clearly I'm getting the wrong thing, right? Look at that. Everybody talking about these yogurt covered raisins. Look what you did, Obsidian. Look what you did.
This new note reportedly coming from TMZ on the same day that Savannah Guthrie is back to work.
You're here.
I am joined now by Joe Jackalone, a retired NYPD sergeant. He's been involved in a ton of criminal investigations and cold cases over the years. Joe, thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, he's got the same name as me, y'all. He's got the same name as me.
Appreciate it, sir.
Thanks for having me on, Brian.
I first want to ask you about this new development within the last couple of hours. TMZ reports that they've received another ransom note. I've always been a little skeptical of the ransom notes, especially from TMZ. Like, are they just trying to get headlines? But I was just reading through what they said. Harvey Levin said, my spidey senses say there is something about this guy. He's written them before. He's been very persistent. He doesn't claim to be the kidnapper, but says he knows who that person is and where the body is. I mean, what do you make of it?
Well, listen, law enforcement's going to have to try to track down anything they can on this. Like you said, I've took the ransom stuff with a grain of salt from the very beginning, because it was unlike anything we've ever seen before in history and textbooks or what have you. So listen, they have to do this as part of their investigation, but there's always been a couple of investigations, tracks going on here. Your ransom, stranger kidnapping, family members. I mean, all of these things happen just about in every investigation. So, it's just another thing that they'd have to concentrate on and quite frankly, probably waste a lot of time trying to figure out what exactly is happening on that end.
With Savannah Guthrie going back on the Today Show this morning, though, I had always kind of wondered in the back of my mind, when she decided to do that, would that have an impact in the investigation? Like, would that spark someone new to come forward? Or if it was like a obsessed Savannah person who did this, would they be sparked to send a new note or something? So the timing is kind of interesting, that the same morning she goes back to work after more than 2 months, TMZ suddenly gets a note. I mean, what do you think of that?
Eventually, I mean, she had to go back to work, all right? I mean, I remember standing at a homicide a long time ago at a scene, and I remember the detective next to me saying, hey, Sarge, you know what? Life goes on, right? And things just happen like this. But yes, I think the best thing for her in her own, for her own mental health and overall health is to try to get back to some sort of routine where she goes back to work and does something that she loves to try to keep her mind off of this, because I'm sure she's basically losing her.
They're dark chocolate covered raisins. I think the boss bitch had mentioned those are the ones that you like too. These are the ones that I have.
Mind in so many aspects about what's going on with the investigation, worried about her mom and her health and everything else that goes along with it.
Brandon said, I got vodka. I know somebody here that likes vodka too. If you're in the chat.
We can only imagine what somebody would go through that kind of trauma.
What do you think about the timing, though, of this note to TMZ on the day that she went back? Do you think that there could be a link there?
I don't think so, but like everything else, if this is somebody who's just been trying to make trouble, so to speak, then yes, sure, they would do this, take this opportunity because she's back on the news and everything else that goes along with it. But I don't know. I just hope that they figure out who this person is, and if they have real information. I mean, there's over $1 million in reward for this. So, I mean, come on.
You don't seem that, just as the tone of your voice, you don't seem that convinced with these notes.
No, I didn't. Like I said, I wasn't really a big fan of this ransom stuff from the beginning. And one person they did catch, right, that was trying to scam the people out of this. It would have rewritten textbooks, Brian, on how law enforcement handles ransom notes. I mean, they didn't go directly to the family. They go through the media, which is something we've never seen before. There's just some other, things I just don't like about this, right? The idea is to get the money and be able to give the person back. But that doesn't seem to be part of the equation when this thing first.
Okay, so obviously TMZ received not one, but 2 ransom letters, right? And Savannah, during her interview with Hoda, had mentioned that she believed that the first 2 ransom letters were real. And now that we're having this another occurrence of another round of ransom notes, Type a 1 in the chat if you believe that these ransom notes are real. Type a 2 if you think it's still bullshit.
First that happened.
And there was no proof of life ever from what
From
we know.
then.
Right. And you're not going to send any money over the internet for this. I mean, it's not that it's gone forever. I know a lot of people don't think that the Bitcoin can't be, traced, but listen, there are a lot of people out there that have the skills to be able to do this. And you know what? The FBI, I'm sure, is working on that as we speak.
Yeah, I sort of thought all the ransom notes were just made up. But then when Savannah did that interview with Hoda, she said that she believes that two of the ones that they received could be legit. So then I started to think to myself, well, wait a minute, if she's saying that, that's probably the FBI telling her that. So maybe some of them have been, real.
Well, I mean, listen, the FBI is not going to tell the victim's family exactly everything that's going on. They might just say, like, this is what we got. We think it's credible. But law enforcement's job is to make sure they vet out all that information anyway. They're not going to come out and say this is nonsense and we're not going to even be bothered with it. So, you don't want to give people hope, but you also want to say, listen, we're taking this seriously. We don't know if it's real or not. And we're going to try to track it down and see if we can get you an answer. I mean, I'm sure that was kind of like the conversation that was going on.
None of you guys think it's real. I've seen zeros, I've seen 2s, I've seen 3s, and not a single one. Wow. Okay, a few 3s. First Liberty said 5. Damn, what is number 5? What's the scale for number 5? You want start spinning. Y'all are crazy. I don't even have the table set up. Maybe one day. Okay, Viking Woman, we have one brave soul. Viking Woman says that there could be some truth to it. Ghost of Bandera says no proof of anything. That's kind of like how this whole case is, right? We've got no proof at all. We've got people sitting in front of Nancy's house, been out there for weeks upon weeks, and still nothing, right? This case is, I'm not going to lie, I thought the whole, the Celeste Rivas Hernandez case was crazy, but I don't know. This one is running neck and neck with it because this is just, I don't know. This case is beyond me. I really don't know. Sometimes I don't know what to say about this because like you hear 3 to 4 different stories a day on like the same thing. So it's just crazy.
Yeah. And so we'll see where these notes go. I mean, again, I just wonder if TMZ thinks it's a good headline every time.
Storm, you know what? After everything that has come out since all the news is dropped on said person, I've been thinking the same or thinking that it's, he's definitely capable.
And they get a note, but obviously they're saying that they're forwarding it to the FBI and we'll just have to see how that plays out. I'm curious, Joe, it's now been more than 2 months. You did so much cold case work, and I don't want to call this a cold case yet, but if you were to receive, if you were working this case, you received the file now, like where do you begin?
It's easy for me, Brian. I would just say I would be creating an international cold case task force, and we would be bringing in every agency that's within 100 miles of where this crime happened. And I'm talking about at least one representative. And of course, we would include the federal partners, including the DEA. Now, people say, well, how do you know? Why would the DEA? Because Mexico is not that far away. And I'm sure the DEA has assets and confidential informants in Mexico that they can help out with this investigation. And one of the things that I would be pushing for is to be debriefing every prisoner that gets arrested within that 100-mile radius, asking them if they know anything about the case, asking recently convicted prisoners as they're sitting in the cell for the first time in the first week, you know what, maybe they do know something. Listen, you have to go to the sources where these guys hang out and these guys know one another, so to speak, and try to get information out of somebody. This is a get out of jail free card. And like I said before, over $1 million and you haven't had a real tip that led you anywhere is really concerning, which means it could be a big part of the dark underworld that we don't know about just yet, and people have been keeping it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I was coming home from work, normally I'll listen to like a YouTube video, but I had it completely silent, and my mom was telling me like there was something going down, but I was like, I'm just gonna ride quiet today. And the very first thing that popped up into my head when everything kind of settled was, could it really be him sending them? Is it possible that he actually did it or has been sending these ransoms? Because I mean, it's not beyond, the realm of things that he might do.
Quiet. But you know what? One thing I found in my career is that somebody who's been sitting in a cell says, you know what? I know something. I got to get out of here. And they can try to make a deal.
It's interesting you say that. One of my cop friends, and he's not even a detective, he's a street cop and he's a younger guy. He was asked, we were chatting about the Nancy Guthrie case, and that's what he said. He said, I bet at some point someone in prison is going to have the tip. And I was like, why do you think that? And he said, I don't know. I just have a hunch. Like at some point it's going to be someone behind bars who gives up some info.
Well, I mean, it's a tactic that we use quite often when we're trying to investigate cold cases, when you're dealing with things with 20, 30 years old. Who else would know about things such as this? And listen, debriefing of prisoners, even at intake, and I don't care if it's for something minor, you never know exactly how many times people have been arrested and, they might be looking at some serious time and they have heard something. I'll take a rumor. I'll take anything. Of course, the police have to go and vet that information, but it's a lead, right? There comes a point you have to go and shake the trees and create your own leads. I don't want to see police departments sit back and say, well, we have DNA possibly, right? Well, no, you have nothing until you get it back. That's the first thing. And even if you get it back, you don't know if it's going to be usable, if they were able to extract the mixtures, all those things that go right?
Got a point.
Get off your butts, go out there and start shaking your own trees. Make something happen. And listen, law enforcement has the capability of doing this, but having all of those other departments doing the same thing you're doing, you shake enough trees, it could be something falling out of it.
Shake them.
You mentioned Mexico. I've always wondered why it seems like they've downplayed Mexico. Like in the beginning, they made a point to say, well, we have no evidence to believe this has anything to do with Mexico. The Mexican government said the same thing. But it's so close. I mean, I drove there from Nancy's house. It takes like an hour and a half, maybe even less time if there's no traffic. Like, I just have a hard time just saying it has nothing to do with Mexico. It seems like we should keep that possibility open.
You always keep it open. But I also remember, whatever the law enforcement agencies say too, you never take them for full value. They say everything and nothing all in the same sentence, right? Oh, everybody's cleared. Nobody's cleared until the case is over. I mean, it's as simple as that. First of all, you don't want to keep people calm. You want to keep people, in a situation where they might make a mistake. So we never want to label anything as, this person, that person, or anything else. But yes, you have to keep the Mexico angle open. Not even saying that drug cartels are involved. It's just an easy escape over the border kind of thing, which in this case might even help even more in respect that it's an automatic federal takeover at that point, as soon as you have that international line cross or a state line cross. And quite frankly, something I was hoping for, where the feds would be able to just step in and say, okay, our turn. The feds are always lurking in these cases. I mean, I work with the feds, and it's not like television where you're always fighting.
And really quick, you guys, just in case you guys are in the vertical view and you don't like the vertical view, we are in landscape mode. So all you got to do is click on my profile and then find one of the lives that doesn't have the little mobile phone in the title, and then click on that, because I do know that some of you guys prefer the landscape live over the vertical live, but we do it because StreamYard says it's a good idea, right? And we currently have more people in the vertical live anyway. So, but in case you guys don't want to watch vertical, we're streaming in horizontal too.
It's actually really a symbiotic relationship, and I've always had some good relationships with those guys and girls. But you know what? We hear differently. We don't know for sure what's happened in Pima, but if that's the case, it would be an absolute shame if that occurred.
Yeah. So what I heard from sources is initially that there was an issue between the FBI and the local sheriff's office, that the sheriff's office wasn't sharing everything, that the sheriff has this longstanding beef with the FBI. And there were issues in the beginning, but now they have this task force, and apparently it's pretty seamless now. They're getting along. It's less about the sheriff and more just like the detectives and the FBI agents working together, and they've sort of straightened all of that out from what I'm hearing.
Well, let's hope so, right? I mean, but even then, you've lost valuable time in those weeks where you're trying to iron this out. And did it get ironed out because it finally became public and became part of the discourse of what was going on in the investigation? Because if that's the case, okay, great, you fixed it, but it's still like you got to shake your head and say, well, what were you thinking? I mean, there's so many things that I look at this case and I just scratch my head, and I always make the joke that I said if I had hair, I'd pull it out. Because things such as not even holding the crime scene. I mean, there was no reason to let that crime scene go. I'll tell you right now, if that case happened in New York City, not only we would have kept the house, we would have cordoned off that entire piece of property, and we would have parked one of those big old temporary headquarters vehicle right on the front lawn. And I mean, we're talking, I haven't seen a line or a grid search or a zone search. I haven't seen any of that. I mean, you have people walking around like, on an Easter egg hunt. That's not the way you do these things. With David dogs, why aren't we bringing them in? Why have they never brought back bloodhounds? They said that they did it in the beginning. They said canines. They didn't specify the kind of dogs that they brought in. I don't know for sure. I'm sure if you heard the type of dogs. But at this point, bring back bloodhounds. Let them sniff the clothing, the pajamas, whatever was left over, and see if we can get a trail, anything. But I mean, now we're talking months into this, and I just say this is like basic investigation stuff. And why wasn't it done? I don't think we'll ever get the answer for.
I still don't understand why they cleared the crime scene that first time, because the family wasn't itching to get back into the house. I don't know what the urgency was in doing that. There didn't seem to be any pressure from the outside. Like I couldn't figure it out.
From all we know, that there was nobody else that even had an expectation of privacy for that house, meaning the only person that had access to the house or the privacy was Nancy herself, which means we meaning law enforcement, not me personally, wouldn't need even a search warrant at that point. So, I mean, to say that you would just do this and then leave and then let everybody kind of walk all over the place, is kind of like, I question that. So that entire place should have been done. Because remember, we saw the guy come into the, I think it was the septic tank, right? And kind of like poking in a few days. You found the blood, on the doorstep, right? I mean, the gloves. Talk about another nightmare scenario, right? Having 16 pairs of rubber gloves that they were left at the scene by searchers, and then another pair of rubber gloves from 2 miles away. I mean, it's like, what are we doing here, folks? I mean, this is not the stuff that we train. And there are no national standards per se on how to run a crime scene, but there is plenty of literature on this.
Chicago is in the house tonight. What's up, Chicago? What's up, Chicago? How's it going, Chicago?
National Institute of Justice has guides out on this stuff. There have been plenty of textbooks written on this. So to me, it's unacceptable.
Where's everybody else tuning in from? Do we have anybody that's new? If you are new, let us know where you are watching from.
In 2026.
When I think you saw my story, we had a source close to the investigation in Silhouette talking, and I think you tweeted about it, where he was saying that the supervisor had never investigated a homicide, which I think I remember seeing your tweet. Like, that didn't seem to bother. Weren't you trying to say, well, that part didn't bother you that much?
Right. It doesn't bother me that, because the supervisor's there to make sure that the detectives have what they need in order to investigate the case. So when I was a sergeant in the detective squad, I remember the lieutenant telling me, when I was brand new sergeant in the squad, I remember the lieutenant says, give the detectives enough space. Your job is to make sure that they have the equipment and the necessary means to do their job, and just let the detectives do their work. So yes, when you saw that, I said, that doesn't matter, right? The idea behind the supervisor in this is going to be the manager, the mentor, the trainer, to be able to go in there and say, okay, guys, have you thought of this? No? Okay, why don't we give that a shot? I mean, that's really what the supervisor's job should be. But we're hearing all kinds of stuff about what's going on, like benching your homicide detectives or the people who had the skill sets already. But you know what, Brian? I don't know if you've asked this question. Like, why didn't they ask for a mutual aid from Tucson or Phoenix, right? And initially, I would be calling Phoenix and Tucson and say, hey, I need 5 homicide detectives or 5 detectives with experience. I need them there within 48 hours. We're going to pay the bill, but, send them down here. We need everybody at bay.
Viking woman said she's watching from the Artemis. How's the Wi-Fi up there?
On this, because it's been proven, the more detectives on an initial case, the faster you'll get it solved. It's as simple as that. And having all these people involved and all this experience to do so is something that needed to be brought bare to the initial stages of this investigation.
Yeah, and beyond the supervisor, we're hearing that the detectives also had less than 2 years.
Secret Shade. I don't know the details behind it, but I did hear a little bit in Rabbit's chat earlier today. So I'll definitely look it up and try to get some details on it.
There's experience because the experienced detectives were moved out of homicide because of a beef with the sheriff and all this drama with the election, and it gets very political.
Oh yeah.
And I realized that like pretty much right when I got there and started talking to people, there's just these beefs with the sheriff that have been ongoing for a long time and seem to have bled into this investigation.
And the silence is sort of deafening too in regards to like what people know from the outside if they were even asked or they were even.
So thank you for that, Cindy. I do appreciate you welcoming all the new subscribers, the members, visitors, and lurkers. You guys, we are 3 subs away from getting 1,500 subs. You guys, I know we're a small channel, we're a micro channel, but we got a really, really tight community of inner circle family here, you guys. So, you know, you guys want to help your boy get to 1,500. We only need 3 more.
Even what they even feel about the situation. But yes, listen, detectives who never caught a homicide or an investigation like this, the only way they're going to learn is until they do so. The idea is having that experience to help them move them along, right? Let them do the case. We saw something very similar happen in Moscow, if you remember, right? The detective there, he never really did the homicide. Yeah, and they made an arrest in that case too. So if you've investigated cases before, we train our detectives in New York City to solve homicides because.
Gold Digger, thank you so much for gifting a membership. Who received that membership? Let's see. Who received that membership? Diane Deckard received a membership gifted by Gold Digger. So welcome to the inner circle. Thank you so much, Gold. I appreciate you.
Because you will then use all those tools to solve your lesser crimes. So we prepared our detectives to solve the ultimate crime against society so that anything less than that, they already had the tools necessary, which would bring in another conversation. What is their training like? Who does the training? How often is the training? And was anybody trained? You know, I mean, those are the next questions that would come up. I mean, I would like to see if they have a detective guide or a procedure about how to handle a crime scene, even from the uniform cops, the first cops on the scene. Listen, they often make or break cases. Did they hold the scene? Did they see any witnesses? Did they detain anybody? Did they notice something out of place? Those are all real important steps when you're dealing with a case like this.
Yeah, and I was in Idaho for the Moscow murders too, and I think the difference there was the police.
Felicia just gifted a membership. Who received that? Zen Soul Studios was gifted a membership. Hey, Zen, what's up? Welcome to the inner circle, you guys.
Weren't saying anything, and we didn't know what was going on behind the scenes, but we just didn't know. I mean, we didn't know if they were busy, if they had a lot, if they didn't have a lot. With this situation, though, in Arizona with Nancy Guthrie, like we actually have sources telling us that they have nothing, that they have no suspect, that they don't have any good leads right now, that they're basically just, I mean, like the latest I've heard is that they're going to all the construction sites in the neighborhood and trying to get a full list of everybody who's worked these construction jobs just to go down that list and try to rule those people out. And apparently they're having a hard time because some of the crews are nervous to give up names. And, you know, like some people are in the country illegally. There's, you know, issues there with all of that. But I mean, they're not to say that they're desperate, but they're, I mean, kind of like you said, shaking the trees. Like it seems like they're really shaking the trees. Where when I was in Idaho, they actually had like really legitimate stuff going on behind the scenes. They just weren't. They were closing in on Brian Koberger. They just weren't telling us that. Whereas they're not closing in on anyone from what we know in Arizona.
Right. And I kind of agree with that, so to speak, because you see these over $1 million worth of rewards, and we haven't seen anything that resembles anything of reports, except for, remember in the initial stages, and you were part of one of those where they had somebody in custody, and they made the cardinal rule of saying, we have somebody in custody, right? You don't do that until after you vet out the information and who this person is, because it looks bad. I mean, I just wish that the sheriff and I've seen this a number of times recently, would have just used a public information officer at the very beginning stages of this. When you have a major case like this, I want to see my police executive at the scene. I want him or her directing what should be going on, what assets they need, if they need cell phones or batteries or even just food to keep them at the scene going. That's what I want my executives to be doing, not sitting in front of the press conference. That's why you have a PIO, because as you know, Brian, these cases are dynamic and they change in the matter of minutes. And when you the executive say something, everyone expects that to be the truth, even though you're not lying, but you gave out bad information.
First Liberties podcast, I mean, I can't disagree, right? 65 days later, she's on heart meds. She's probably gone. Being on a pacemaker like that's kind of tough, right? So when without her whatever, if she's on blood thinner medications or if she's on blood pressure medications and she doesn't have them, her not having her medications puts her at an extremely high risk of having a heart attack or a stroke. And the fact that she was probably, I'm sad to say this, right? But if she was probably beat up that night too, she could have bled. She could have bled out. She could have developed a blood clot. Like, that's the part that, you know, some of us probably don't even realize or understand, right? But those are definitely some of the real life things that she could have experienced. And I'm really curious if, you know, the doctor has been able to just get any kind of reading from her pacemaker at all. That's the part that I'm really baffled about.
Who can walk back the executive? There's nobody above you. That's why you have the PIO, and then the next person who's higher than them can step in and say, okay, we know we said this, but that was the initial thing. Now the investigation has shifted. This is what we found. We will keep you posted. And that's it. And instead, it turned into the mess that it has been.
That's such a good point. The sheriff could have almost protected himself and his reputation. You use a PIO, and then it's kind of like, oh, we had bad information. It's more on them versus now you got the top guy making mistakes, saying things different ways. And then it like it is now, it's like, who can we trust?
Right. And now every time he says something or every time he did something, nobody believes him. And that's part of the problem. But that's why we have PIOs. Listen, this whole incident management system technique has been in place since September 11th, where we have an incident commander and we have different sections. And one of those sections is public information. And that person is generally the public information officer. And I can't remember the case offhand. Well, it was a much smaller department, and it was a major case. And they actually got a PIO from a major city that wasn't too far away. And he stepped in, the sergeant stepped in and controlled the entire narrative, and everything worked out well. We spend the time and effort to.
Who asked that question? Was that David is guilty? I mean, it's really hard to say what kind of issues she might have. I mean, she might have like hypertension, right? But then she's probably also got what we call bradycardia. Bradycardia just means like a very slow heart rhythm. Bradycardia, obviously a medical terminology, just means below average. And Brady just means slow, right? So normal heart rate for a human being is anywhere between 60 to 100 beats. And basically with bradycardia, that pacemaker, when it starts beating really slowly, that pacemaker is going to send that little electrical impulse to kind of tell the heart to beat at a normal pace. So if her heart is continuously like slowing down, obviously that pacemaker is going to be in overdrive, you know, constantly firing that impulse for her heart to continue to beat. But then also, you know, obviously if your blood isn't flowing through your heart properly, you're at a higher risk of developing blood clots because obviously your heart kind of travels through the atriums and the ventricles and all throughout the body. But if your heart's not strong enough to do that, right, you're going to get like regurgitation of the blood, you know, into the bloodstream, which could put you at a high risk of clots.
Train our PIOs to deal with them.
Eventually like a stroke or a heart attack, right? But 65 days, First Liberties podcast, you're right. 65 days, no meds. She might be, she's probably gone.
Media to be able to speak in front of the media and do all those things. As you know, it's not easy. So if we have somebody that's trained for somebody who, in this case, a police executive who really doesn't have that kind of training, who might think that they have that training, stand up there and say things that end up not being true, I think it turned off a lot of people. And
so, Electric Snail said, Flojo, did the puddle of blood on her porch concern you knowing that she's on blood thinners, or did it seem like normal amount to you asking you as a nurse? I think anytime anybody has any kind of heart issues and they bleed, right, I think there's always a concern, right? Because one, if she has that pacemaker, there's a high likelihood that she's on blood thinners, right? And anytime a person is on blood thinners, the number one thing that you have to watch out for, you have to monitor for, are signs of bleeding, right? And not just that, but they have their blood is so thin that when they bleed, they can possibly bleed out, right? And we don't know if she's even diabetic, right? Because if she's diabetic and she has a wound, normally for people who are diabetic, it takes them like 3 to 4 times longer for that wound to heal. So if she was like busted up in the face, you know, that wound could potentially heal. And then in 65 days, right, let's just say she has an open wound, right? If her body's not properly healing, she's not getting proper wound care, right? She's at a higher risk of developing an infection, right? And that too could be worse, right? And if she's with people who don't give a shit about her, well, I mean, what are the odds that she's going to get antibiotic therapy, right? Very unlikely.
Of course, we see now a lot of negative attention directed his way, and unfortunately, is rightly so.
Well, you brought up Idaho earlier, and they did something like that. They brought in the Idaho State Police public information officer to handle things for them in Moscow, even though it was a city of Moscow. You know, they had someone from the outside come in and just handle all the media requests. And the chief maybe did like 1 or 2 interviews total. I mean, and it was very rare. And he just let that PIO handle everything.
And that's the way it should be done, right? So we have the model, we have the training, right? FEMA runs this. We know exactly.
And then when it comes to her pacemaker, yeah, obviously she would definitely need to be close to her app, right? For her app to kind of read the pacemaker. Before, back then, we used to have pacemakers in this little like telephone device where you'd have to take the, I don't know, whatever, you take the little device that's attached to like an old school corded phone, right? And then you place that little receiver part onto the chest. Basically what that does is it transmit information back to the doctor. It's crazy. It's like it would read information kind of like a fax machine. Very old school, but I'm glad that the technology obviously has advanced, right? Because now there's different ways. But I think now, considering the fact that we're having issues with Bluetooth, it would be crazy technology if maybe they just started implementing or installing like little GPS trackers in it, right? I mean, our phones have them, right? Why not put them in pacemakers?
What we want them to do and say and be able to handle something during a big major case so that we don't run into these kind of problems. But we saw this up in the Brown University incident. We saw this with the shooting at Charlie Kirk. People coming out who shouldn't be saying things in the media, and it just doesn't foretell well about what's exactly the investigation is going to reveal. Plus, you bring in chances for the defense attorney to be able to do things, because remember, the defense attorney, if he's going to say, well, my client wasn't the guy because we're excluding all others. You had all these other people under arrest. What happened to them? Why weren't they the ones? I'm sure, you're just opening yourself up to this kind of stuff. And it's just, you have to prepare from the very minute this case starts that you're going to trial.
We are 1 subscriber away from 1,500 subs, y'all. Let's go.
And you dot your I's and cross your T's, and that's the way it should be handled.
I know there's still a lot of holes, but I haven't talked to you about this case yet, so I'm just curious. Do you have a theory? I mean, do you have a working theory based on the information that we do have of what happened here, what the motive might have been?
Well, there's a lot of things that a lot of people have speculated on a lot of things. But one thing that I can think of is that I don't believe she was a targeted attack. I think there was going to be a planned burglary and that this thing went bad. Why do I say it's not a targeted attack?
Coco Mom just gifted another 5 memberships. Who received those memberships, you guys? Let's welcome them. The Depressionist, Ruby for Justice, Heal with Sounds. Oh, all familiar faces. Snooks and Focus 1031. Welcome to the inner circle, you guys. All right. Look at y'all. Thank you so much. Oh, we just hit 1,500 subs, you guys. Wow, thank you guys so much. It might be a small number compared to a lot of your favorite creators, but to me, 1,500 means so much. That means that you guys, for everybody that keeps coming back, I do appreciate you guys for being here and for all the support that you guys have shown me in the past couple of months that I've been on YouTube. So I do appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much.
Well, listen, look how they the guy dealt with the camera, right? I mean, putting flowers on it, whatever. He wasn't really in a big rush.
We have to celebrate these small little wins, right? We got to celebrate them.
Wasn't really too concerned about this. And I had said from the very beginning that this guy was an amateur. And the reason why I said that is because he did not look prepared. Now, the people throw that back at me and say, well, Joe, he's not an amateur, but we're 2 months into this. Well, listen. These guys make mistakes. It's up to law enforcement to be able to figure out what those mistakes are. But, listen, most burglaries happen directly through the front door. So that was his first intention. Does it happen through the back door? Apparently, that's where things go. But you have an 84-year-old immobile person who has a heart monitor and all the other things that go along with it. Bad choice if she was a target of attack, because the likely.
Oh wait, does that mean that I can also gift memberships too? Hold on, let me see, because it is April now. Let me see. I'm going to go ahead and give away 5 gifted memberships. So let's go ahead and do that. So because we hit 1,500 tonight, I'm going to go ahead and give away 5 more gifted memberships, you guys. And after the show, I'm going to be posting the link to our private members only Discord, where we continue the conversation. It's literally 24/7. Ask anybody who's in green in the chat how active the Discord is. And if you guys like playing games, there's a few games that you guys can play that people are playing like 24/7. So join the Discord, you guys. Let me go ahead and gift 5 memberships right now. Here we go. So who received these memberships? All right, who got them? Who got them? Who got them? We got Behind Blue Eyes, Deanna Morris. I was gonna say Coco Mom, but that was a comment in between. ML Montez, La Chameleon, and Lori, aka Midwestern Mima. Welcome to the inner circle, you guys. Appreciate you guys all for hanging out. All right, you guys, back to the show.
Of something going wrong.
Wait, Ronan, did you just gift the membership? Oh shit, Ronan gifted a membership. Thank you so much, Ronan. Appreciate you.
With her is extremely high, and now you're looking at murder charges. So
but if it's just a burglary gone wrong, though, why would he have been there previously? Remember, like, we think he was there January 11th, which would have been 3 weeks before.
Word puzzles go crazy, you guys. We got like this word seek, and we just literally put it in like a couple days ago, and we're already on like, I don't know, level 500. I don't know. You guys tell me, what level are we on?
Would he have been planning
staking out the joint, right? He's actually doing his homework. He's looking at things. Maybe he's knowing that her routine is like she goes over to, she leaves every Sunday to go to, wherever. So, it was that day of Sunday. I mean, was it on a weekend? So was he doing his homework, so to speak? That's just the way I would be looking as the working theory. And I had said before we started, once the ransom notes started kicking in, you have another level of investigation that has to be done there. So you have to be able to pivot.
See, Felicia knows she's hooked. I got her hooked. She's hooked.
So you have, like I said, 3 investigations happening: ransom,
Coco Mom,
stranger abduction, and
Coco Mom making it rain. Thank you so much, Coco Mom, for your another 5 gifted memberships to D, Laura, who else? Nidra, Estrella's mom. Hey. Okay, and then Late Girl 1123. Welcome to the inner circle, you guys. You know what? Just for that, I'm gonna gift another 5. Who was it? Secret Shade, you have your gifted memberships turned on. I'm about to drop another 5 for you guys right now. Here we go, y'all. I wish nope. I don't have a drum roll. I do not have a drum roll, you guys. So I just gifted 5 memberships. Holy shit. Yo, what? Whoa. The boss bitch just gifted 50 memberships. And then Iraq just gifted another 5. You guys, what the heck? Yo, shout out. And I'm not gonna annoy your ears, but thank you so much, the boss bitch. 50 gifted memberships, dear Lord. Thank you so much. And then Iraq, thank you for your 5 too. Holy Lord. Thank you. You guys are making it rain, y'all. Y'all are making it rain. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Always friends and family are always included in these investigations. I don't care what anybody says. Most people are victimized by someone they know, and that's a direction that cases often go through. That doesn't mean it's true, but you as the investigator have to exclude all others. That's the goal.
Holy Lord, look at this wall of green. Some green names, y'all. Holy Lord.
So if I can exclude the family, great. Move on to the next one. Let's go. through this. But that's why I was, I'm pushing this
Rocco just received the gifted membership. Let's go.
briefing of prison stuff, because this isn't the first time. I don't think this.
Hold on. Did Secret Shade get a membership? Did Secret Shade get a membership? I need to know. No. What? Are you sure you have your memberships turned on? That is wild. We had literally 50, 60, 70 gifted memberships and not a single one went to you, Secret Shade? Can you double check, make sure that you have it on? Because I'll gift another 10 just to see if you get one. That's crazy. Yeah, the boss bitch will tell you how to turn your memberships on. The boss bitch, help her.
I would
or
do a
help
burglary
them.
or
Sorry,
do something like this. Show that photo to your prisoners. Show the video, because he had a little bit of a funky walk, right? He had that knapsack on that might have been a little too heavy. Looked like he almost would lose his balance. Maybe somebody identifies the gate, right? I mean, anything. You're never going to know until you try, and that's the bottom line here.
One of my friends, a retired FBI agent, Maureen O'Connell, who I have on a lot, you mentioned the gate and look.
Wait, Abraham, you don't have a membership? I could have sworn you just joined the Discord. What?
Kind of funky. She thinks he was high. Like, she's just convinced that the guy was like on drugs.
He might be. I mean, listen, you have an elderly person, but probably information out there is who she actually was. So, guys like this who may be using drugs, whatever, think there's drugs in the house, there's cash money, right? Because elderly people senior citizens tend to have cash in the house, right? So, I mean, it becomes a target-rich environment as far as I'm concerned. Listen, I don't have any background on this information. That would just be our working theory. And listen, this happens in every investigation. The detectives get together, you sit there and you talk, all right, what do we think of the scenarios? And then you lay out all the scenarios, and then you see what evidence leads you to that. One of the things, maybe you have the answer to this one, Brian, I've been asking all along and no one's ever given me an answer. Was there a router in the house? Did they take the router? So why is that important? Well, if you have friends and family and acquaintances and the pool guy and all the other stuff, they connect to the Wi-Fi. And that Wi-Fi that router becomes a real record of who was there. And even if you don't have access to it, right? You happens to you go somewhere and it says, hey, there's a Wi-Fi here. It connects onto your MAC address or whatever it is on your phone or your watch. And people are going to turn around and say, well, he made her take off the wristwatch, the Apple Watch and the phone. Yes, because the word is out there that these things can be easily traced and trackable. So the bad guys know to get rid of these things now.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know about the Apple Watch. I mean, I have an Apple Watch. I don't sleep with it on, right? I mean, they do have these sleeping devices these sleeping monitoring devices that you can wear, like the is it the Whoop, the Aura Ring, right? They have those other devices that you can wear comfortably without wearing a watch. I just feel like it's so uncomfortable to wear a watch to sleep. Type of one in the chat if you guys wear a watch to sleep. I need to know who the weirdos are.
It's unfortunate, but it's just a sign of the times.
You think we'll get a resolution soon?
No. If you would ask me this question in the first week or two, I would say yes, because I was really hopeful when I saw the FBI coming in here and doing this, because it is it's
what? Viking woman, you wear a watch to sleep?
Damn. Not a mini department. People think like this is like some mom and pop sheriff's department. They have like 500.
Politically speaking, you wear a watch to sleep?
Damn.
What?
Deputies in this.
West text Doug on Twitch. What's going on? What's up? Welcome. Heather, you wear a watch to sleep?
Damn.
Oh my Lord.
Department. And as far as the 18,000 agencies goes, it's huge, because most departments have fewer than 20 sworn cops. So this is a big department, but the FBI brings so many assets to bear. And, quite frankly, I wouldn't have mind seeing even the Secret Service coming in because of their cell phone data and technology and all the other things. Like I said, the DEA, because of the drug connections that they have in Mexico. So I would look to further my are all partners in this thing, and just throw it out there and say, maybe somebody didn't think of it. I don't know. I mean, and I'm not saying I had the answers to everything, and I'm the.
Do you have like one of those new Apple phones? I mean, Apple phones, Apple Watches? Because I got an old like Apple Watch 7, and I know that one's really old, and I don't know if it does anything for sleep. I don't know. Maybe I need to update the what is it called? The OS? Oh, this is too advanced for me now. If I'm just getting old.
Greatest and all that other stuff. I'm just saying, this is what I would be. This is how my brain thinks. Even 14 years into retirement, when I first started this, I said I'd be doing this, this, and this as of right this second.
Yeah, and you make a good point. People do think it's like some small little country department. There's 400 deputies.
Yeah,
that's okay, Coco Mom. If you are watch to sleep, that's okay. You're okay. You're permitted to do so.
Yeah, a couple of hundred. Yeah,
yeah. It's not a small. It's not a small department. Tucson isn't like some small place. You know, it's a.
He's fighting sleep, huh? You can just tell like he's ready to go.
It's a city. With the ransom notes, what are you looking for, you know, as an investigator to see if they're legit?
Well, it would be that direct connection.
Don't make me electric snails. We're not going there. Okay, I'm old.
The family, they want the money. They don't usually. I don't think they've ever wanted a big production out of this. It's usually very quiet, one-on-one kind of conversation between them, the law enforcement agency, and or the family members to get the money, to come up with a scenario where they're going to drop off the victim and get and be gone with it. So to bring in all of the national media and all the other stuff is just way too much for me as far as I'm concerned. Because if you're trying to keep something like this, you want to keep it on the down low. You don't want to have the FBI getting involved in this thing off the bat. You don't want that if you're a bad guy. No way, no how.
All right, I appreciate.
Brandon says he doesn't wear a bra either. He likes to let them flow.
Joe, for taking the time to talk with me, help me go over all these new developments. There's a couple of other things I wanted to tell you about that's developed over the last couple of days, specifically when it comes to Sheriff Nanos. You guys remember the Board of Supervisors in Pima County has been investigating the sheriff. There was this whole controversy with him allegedly lying under oath and saying that he had never been suspended before, when actually at his last job decades ago. Now,
are you for reals, Abraham? Maybe we gotta shut the phone off and restart or something. I don't know. Close your YouTube app and come back. Maybe you were gifted one already.
Paso, he had been suspended a number of times. So the Board of Supervisors hired this legal team to look into the sheriff. There's also been allegations of ethical violations involving his opponent when he was running for sheriff, a woman named Heather Lappin, who also worked at the sheriff's office. And these allegations are that he was purposely punishing her ahead of the election.
The boss bitch with another 10 gifted memberships. Did Secret Shade finally get gifted a membership? We'll find out on, let me see. No, I don't see one. Yo, Secret Shade, what's going on here? What's going on here?
And that there was election interference. So there's this new document that's come out where there are 3 different things that he was being investigated.
I remember one live. We had the boss bitch go heads up with Coco Mom. Coco Mom just gifted another 10 memberships. Welcome to the inner circle, everybody. Oh my lord. Well, guess what? I'll match you guys. I'll gift. Let me gift.
Investigated for bullying. It said that they don't have the evidence to support a finding. But then these 2, they backed up. Ethics, the preponderance of the evidence supports a finding that Sheriff Nanos used his authority and department resources for political gain. The evidence includes considering Lieutenant Lappin's political campaign in investigation and disciplinary decision-making, culminating in issuing a press release that included information obtained in his capacity of sheriff. So they backed up an ethical violation, basically saying that he put out this press release before the election against a woman who he was running against, who was also under him at the sheriff's office. And then also...
same here, Coco Mom. We're trying to get Secret Shade a membership. I don't know what's going on. David is guilty. I'm surprised you haven't received one. You've been here for a while, too. You must not have memberships turned on. And Abraham, I don't know. You must not have yours on either.
Code of conduct, the preponderance of the evidence supports a finding that Sheriff Nanos violated applicable code of conduct rules by including confidential information in a press release about the reasons he placed Lieutenant Lappin on paid administrative leave for political gain. He did not maintain rules about courtesy and civility. So they upheld that one, and it says the sheriff's actions were found to be inconsistent with the listed policies. However, the sheriff is not subject to these policies as an elected official. So again, it just goes back to the fact that because he is an elected sheriff, they can issue these rulings, but there's really not much they can do in terms of getting him out of office because he is elected by the people. There, of course, is the recall going on behind the scenes, which I've told you guys about, where they're trying to collect enough signatures to try to have another election to get him out. So he's obviously been under fire from all different sides. There's also this new report that came out from Fox Digital over the weekend that he tried to bring a loaded gun on a plane and was going through TSA.
Lord. Okay, I'm sorry, strategic, but oh my God, he did what?
I had that here. Accused of bringing a loaded gun to an airport security checkpoint.
This man is stupid. Poor guy. Loaded gun. What was he thinking?
It was apparently in his carry-on bag. The sheriff wasn't charged, but he was required to secure the gun before continuing his travel. Just makes you wonder if it had been anybody else, would they have been charged or fined or something like that? But because he was the sheriff, maybe they just sort of let him go. But again, a loaded gun trying to get on a plane, that was kind of a shocking report. So those are the latest headlines from today. I got a couple of other things I'm working on this week that I'll keep you guys posted on. Again, I really appreciate everybody for all your support, for checking out the channel. Again, day 65 since Nancy Guthrie just vanished out of her home in Tucson, Arizona. So I hope that, and I still believe that answers will come. I just hope it's sooner than later. And my heart again goes out to the Guthrie family. And I just think of how difficult it must have been for Savannah Guthrie to go back to work with everything going on. So I'll keep you guys posted if there are any developments. And I'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks, Brian. I appreciate it, you guys. So that was good. Now I want to turn your attention back over to, what's your name? Is this the same one? Okay, yeah, this one, right? Oh, I already have this one open. Back over to Ashley Banfield, because she did put out a second video, and then she also did a show with Sheriff Harvey, and basically they kind of went into detail on these ransom letters. And so I thought it was really, really crazy, because I feel like she shared a lot of information. So did Harvey, on information that we haven't heard before. So here, let's check this out, you guys. Yo, what? The boss bitch just gifted another 20 memberships? Dear Lord, it's raining memberships tonight. It's raining.
Ashley Banfield, this is Drop Dead Series.
Oh, let me share this really quick. Hold on, what's going on here? Here we go. All right, let's play it really quick. You get a membership. You get a membership. You get a membership. I don't know how many followers we have on Twitch, but I don't know if we're close to getting monetized on Twitch yet. But if you're on Twitch, we're also on Twitch too. You can find us at Flojo TV. Just look me up, Flojo TV. We should all be there.
Yes, I have some really big news to share with you about the Nancy Guthrie case. We're on day 65, and I know I already dropped
day 65, you guys. Day 65.
An episode earlier because Savannah returned to the Today Show this morning, but I've learned something from TMZ that I did not know before, and it all comes amid sort of a whole tumble of information about new ransom-like letters that have come into TMZ. So let's be really clear, because it's getting confusing about all of the different letters. But the headline here is that the original letters that came to TMZ and local TV stations in Tucson, there were 2 letters. They threatened to kill Nancy Guthrie. We had not heard that until now. We always knew that there was a consequence threatened if you don't pay by Thursday. Then by Monday, there's a second deadline, and the consequence is that the money goes up, I think, to $6 million.
Well, I don't know how many days it's been since her birthday, Cat's here, but I do know that today marks 209 days since we have heard a single thing, right? Or since Celeste was discovered in the front trunk of David's Tesla. 209 days, you guys. We're barely at 65, day 65 for Savannah Guthrie. Imagine the justice for Celeste, right? We're sitting at now 209 days without a single press conference, without an update from law enforcement or the DA's office, right? And we'll talk about that in a bit too, because SF Investigates put out a tweet talking about in 2 days we're going to be at 7 months and still nothing.
But we never heard that the other consequence was that they threatened to kill Nancy Guthrie. And then, of course, after those 2 letters, they went silent. And we never heard anything afterwards. And they didn't give a mode of communication to the FBI, to the police, to TMZ, to KVOA in Tucson, to KGUN in Tucson. And incidentally,
wait, so if you were gifted a membership, do you have to redeem it or something? Or does it just automatically show up? I don't get it.
the KGUN, also called KGUN, they received a second letter from these same people. And it's known that they're the same people because they had the same Bitcoin address. So the first letter went to KGUN, KVOA, and TMZ. And the second letter just went to KGUN. Don't know why, but it did. But they had the same Bitcoin address. So they're from the same alleged ransom seekers. And that's the one that Savannah refers to in her interview with Hoda Kotb when she says we received, the 2 that we received, we tend to believe are real. And TMZ has also told me that the FBI, with whom they've been working, hand in glove, because they're receiving the communications and they're turning them all over to the FBI indicated to TMZ that the FBI also believes that those 2 ransom letters are from the kidnappers, the real kidnappers. So let's talk a little bit more about what other notes came in, because it started to get confusing. Then there were text messages that went to Annie and Tommaso. Annie is Savannah's sister. Tommaso, named Tommy, is her husband.
We're still waiting to see that, right? First Liberties. I even read on Reddit that they may have even abandoned it. And some people are saying that, the brother, what's his brother's name? Caleb unfollowed David on Instagram. I don't know if that's something that's major or that's something that, we're just giving too much credit to, but I don't know. Could the Burke family be imploding internally? Who knows?
There were text messages that went to those 2, and there were 2 separate messages. And an FBI's, or I should say a federal affidavit, lists out a man in California who was arrested. Derek Colea is his name. They say he was scamming. They arrested him for
scammer alert.
Scamming. To my knowledge, they don't believe he's involved in this. He hasn't been charged with kidnapping or anything related to the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, just the attempt to extort money. So he's facing those federal charges in the near future. He's made his appearance. I believe either he was extradited or he brought himself to Arizona to make a court appearance in the initial offings of that case. But that's a different set of letters. And then come the third set of letters. And these are the letters from somebody who has reached out repeatedly, a half dozen times to TMZ.
Hold on. Thank you for this. If you guys do want to voice your concerns over your frustrations with the Celeste Rivas Hernandez case and her justice, please consider contacting the LADA's office. Their website is da.lacounty.gov/contact. LAPD's website is contact.lapdonline@gmail.com. Oh, and then you can reach out to the California Attorney General's office at oag.ca.gov/contact/general-contact-form. Dear Lord. Or you can reach out to Fox, right? Fox 11 News at foxla.com. Thank you for that.
To say, I'm not the kidnapper. but I know who they are, using the words they every time there's a reference, whether it's they in the singular, as some people use, or they in the plural, we don't know. But I know who they are. And for 1 Bitcoin, I'm willing to turn that information and, quote, hand them over.
Oh, is Rocco celebrating 1 month as a member? Hey, what's up, Rocco?
On a silver platter. Those emails went into TMZ early on as well. Okay. Many thought that they were phony. Not necessarily TMZ, though. The information started with time is of the essence. And then suddenly, just within a day, I think, time is no longer of the essence. And that's important to Harvey Levin, because he said if the sky isn't real, why would he downgrade the importance of his information, or the fact that he could deliver either alive or dead Nancy Guthrie, either one, there's value there. Why would he diminish that himself if he didn't know for sure? That's the gut feeling of Harvey. And you're going to hear from Harvey Levin in just a moment, and he's going to tell you everything about what they went through at TMZ today. But I do want to read for you. So I didn't make Harvey read on camera. I'm going to read for you their communications. And so first off, Harvey and Charles Ladeboutier, they went live on TMZ to say they've received another communication today from the guy who says he has the information. He knows who those kidnappers are and he wants to turn them in, but he wants a Bitcoin. Wants half a Bitcoin now, half a Bitcoin upon the arrest.
Not gonna get
and they said the news that sort of was made with this initial overture in an email to TMZ today was that Nancy's dead. That this person said, Nancy is not alive. She is dead. That's what TMZ says. But he's still willing to turn these people in. And so Harvey Levin and Charles Ladeboutier did their TMZ lives telling the news that they had received this email communication from this same person who they've received each time, because it's the same Bitcoin address each time. So the half dozen communications about, I know who the kidnappers are and I'm willing to turn them in, is always from the same person with the same Bitcoin account. But after they did their live broadcast, they got another email from him, her, whoever. They got another email after their live address. And this one is more specific. They said, in the second letter, quote, I saw her alive with them in the state of Sonora, Mexico. Interesting. I saw her alive with them in the state of Sonora, Mexico. Okay. And then this is where the sender starts to get angry. They're frustrated that the FBI isn't taking them seriously, and said this, quote, it is unbelievable that millions have been wasted, and yet here I am waiting to deliver them on a silver platter since the 11th of February.
TMZ actually started in what, maybe like 2008, 2009? Whenever their first major story was Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson, when he got his DUI arrest. I think that was his first. And then if not, it was a Michael Jackson one. And I remember that all too well because I was at UCLA Medical Center the day that he was transported there, and it was a whole shit show.
For a Bitcoin, but I am disregarded as a scam. They are free to send. They are free and the case is frozen, but the egos remain hot when it comes to me. Arrogance at its finest, end quote. And then
2005, November 8th, 2005 is when TMZ debuted. Wow. Actually, their show debuted on September 10th, 2007. Crazy.
You should note that the price of Bitcoin has been dropping, and so now it's a lot less. A half a Bitcoin's about $35,000. And TMZ made this deal saying, look, we could get the ransom money for you, right? You tell us the information, we tell the FBI, therefore there's a record that you're part of it, because the guy didn't believe he was going to get the ransom money, but we still can't figure out why he wouldn't go for the $1.2 million instead of the, half a Bitcoin's 35,000. Maybe if you get the full Bitcoin upon the arrest, it's only like 70,000 compared to 1.2 million in ransom money. So this isn't, rather in reward money. So this isn't making a whole lot of sense. But you'll hear why Harvey is unable to impart that wisdom on this letter sender. They also are distancing themselves from Nancy's kidnapping, saying they're not the ones to do it. They said that they've been out of the country for more than 5 years and had nothing to do with the horrific crime, just that they know who it was who did it. And in the second note, they said they're not motivated by greed. This is what they said. The motivation was, quote, "I just want what's fair and to live peacefully with enough to start my life again quietly without having to join a witness protection program." Again, I don't know what 70,000 is going to get you in terms of trying to live your life out peacefully if you're afraid of these kidnappers, right? Because 1.2 million would be a lot better. It would be a lot more money to buy yourself some safety if that's the concern. A couple of other things that I want to let you know is that TMZ, I mentioned they've been working hand in hand with the FBI by giving them all of the communications that they receive. But it has been a two-way street.
Brandon said at this point, the person sending the ransom is just keeping in touch with Harvey because it's his only friend and they haven't written letters in years. And it's nice to have a pen pal. Too bad the FBI can't trace any or track any of those emails going out because this is crazy. It really is crazy.
And Harvey Levin is going to tell you in just a moment what the FBI has been doing with TMZ because they have been busy working with TMZ. I know that there are a lot of people out there who say, what's TMZ got to do with anything? A lot, because that's where the communications are coming in. And so the FBI is taking it very seriously and they are doing a lot with TMZ. That's coming in just a moment. But first I want you to hear from Harvey Levin. He was super busy today, but he stepped aside to do a quick interview with me. First, a quick note from my sponsor. Let's face it, I cover some pretty dark stuff.
Nope.
This is
today. Now here's my conversation with Harvey Levin.
Sheriff Harvey, okay? Get it right. Sheriff Harvey. Drop a Sheriff Harvey emoji in the chat, y'all.
So Harvey, more activity, more communications from these alleged ransom seekers.
Well, this is somebody, we've gotten more than a half dozen emails from this person. This is somebody who says they know who the kidnappers are, plural, and where Nancy Guthrie is. We haven't heard from this person in almost a month, but today we got 2 notes from him. And, you know, he is persisting. Now he wants...
That's Harvey's favorite word is persistent, persisting, persistent.
...a Bitcoin, and he will divulge the location. Now, he says that she is in Sonoma. Let me just
Sonora.
Sonora,
yeah,
Mexico. And
Sonoma, not Sonoma County, boy.
And says she is dead, but says that he can lead them to the kidnapper. And so, you know, he said this before, but, you know, he is kind of repeating what he told us early on, which is she was no longer alive as of the Wednesday after she was kidnapped.
And the interesting thing is you have turned all of these communications over to the FBI.
Yep.
They won't tell you, they won't tell anybody what they do with them. But I mean, you're privy to the Bitcoin wallet.
Yeah. And so far, no money has been deposited. And look, I've talked to the FBI and I've frankly said to them, look, I'm not you, and you clearly know a heck of a lot more than me, but my spidey senses are just...
Oh my God. Is Harvey really talking about his spidey senses? Oh God. Really? Now he's got spidey senses.
Telling me something about this guy, because they asked me a long time ago to put the word out, which we did, that anybody who is, you know, doing this as a hoax to get money would be prosecuted by the federal government. And this person wrote back and said, I understand that. I am not in any way hoaxing. This is real. And then the other thing that just got me was, I believe it was...
You know what these two have in common? Let me know in the chat. Let me know what these two have in common, y'all. If y'all catch my spidey senses.
Tuesday after Nancy Guthrie was kidnapped, he sent us this note saying, I know where she is. I know who the kidnappers are. Time is of the essence. That was on a Tuesday. On Wednesday, we got another note from the same person.
Simmer down,
but
Peter
said,
Parker.
time is no longer of the essence, meaning, I think, she is no longer alive, right? Well, if somebody is carrying out a hoax, why would they take the immediacy away and say she's no longer alive? That made it feel to me like there's something legit, because why would he say, why would he take away the incentive to get the money fast?
Or take away the incentive for a bigger payout.
It's just bugged me that there's something about it that I just thought I took more seriously. They have very consciously looked at this. They've tried to find out who this is, but they are not convinced enough to.
Can y'all do me a favor really quick? Can y'all do me a favor and smash the like button really quick? I don't think I've asked you guys all show, but if you guys can do me a favor, hit the like button. And if you guys haven't already, subscribe to the channel, so then that way we can push this video out to a wider audience, right? We got to get into that what's that one word that we always say? The algorithm, right? Smash the like button, y'all.
Pay that money. And I know that as of a conversation I had with the FBI today.
And so to be clear, because I think a lot of people are getting confused about all the different ransom notes, Savannah herself made a comment to Hoda Kotb saying, the 2 ransom notes we received, I tend to believe they're real. Those are the ones that originally came to you, correct? And KVOA and I think another Tucson local station?
Yeah. So there are 2 different things we're talking about. These notes that I've just mentioned are people, not somebody who was a kidnapper, somebody who says he knows where the kidnapper is and where Nancy is. The ransom notes you're referring to, yes, there were 2. They were written by the same person. We know that because it has the same Bitcoin address in both. We received the first one along with 2 Tucson stations, the local stations. The second one was sent to just one local station there, K-Gun, but it's from the same person. I know that the FBI believes that those ransom notes are real, that is from the kidnapper. They have done everything they can, from what I understand, to figure out who sent these notes. They were on with my IT team for hours and hours and hours, working with my IT team, and they came up dry. And they could not find it, and they still haven't found out who wrote it. This is a cold case, and they're just waiting for one of those breaks that often comes. But they are at a dead end right now.
You heard from the FBI that they believed those first 2 overtures were really from the kidnappers as opposed to scammers overseas or some ne'er-do-well?
Yes, and they are from the same person.
Holy cow. So when Savannah said that, she must have had that indication from the FBI. They must have told her that they thought that they were real.
Yeah. Now, what I don't understand is that she was going to pay, and for whatever reason, they backed off. They had a reason for backing off.
And what is that reason? Come on, Harvey. We all just want to know, right? I mean, clearly the FBI knows more than you. And then we all know that you know more than us because you got the spidey senses. Harvey's got them spidey senses.
Damn. And I know they did something. I don't feel comfortable saying it, but they did, because they had asked me not to way back then. I don't know if it's changed at this point. But they thought they had a way of tracking that Bitcoin address. Didn't work.
Holy cow. And there's been no other communications ever since those 2, right? Like there was the first note that said, you've got deadlines, right? You've got a Thursday deadline and then you've got a Monday deadline. And then that second one that went to K-Gun, you said. And how is the second ransom note different from the first? What was it suggesting?
I never saw it. I never saw it, but I don't think it changed the game from what I'm being told by the FBI, that they believe from the same person. It had to be, because the Bitcoin address is the same. And they just told me that it was from the same person.
And those folks at KGUN never did disclose the contents of their note.
They've never talked about it. We don't know what's in it. We didn't read it, but it didn't change the game. The person who wrote that first note,
for sure,
they believe it's a kidnapper, and they have just come up dry.
And we know that they used the same Bitcoin address in the note that went to you and the two stations and to KGUN. That second note, they all had the same Bitcoin
That's
address.
what I'm told.
So the interesting thing is, Harvey, if you think back, and it's hard now with 64 or so odd days, Savannah and her family did a second or subsequent address on Instagram saying, we understand. We've heard your communication and we understand. And we just now want her back with us so we can celebrate with her. And we're willing to pay. And that to many people sounded like, we've heard what you've said. We understand what's happened. We still want a body back. Like it sounded as though they had made an overture that maybe Nancy died.
I agree. I mean, that's the way I took it as well. That's the way I took it as well. Again, if you believe the guy who's been writing us these notes, she died somewhere between Tuesday and Wednesday after she was kidnapped. And I don't know whether that's because, look, and they said in the letter that they would kill her if they didn't get the $6 million by that Monday. So it's unclear whether this was foul play or she died because, she was ill, she didn't have her meds. So I have no idea.
We just said this.
But if you believe this guy, it happened somewhere between Tuesday and Wednesday.
So the ransom letters did threaten to kill her.
Yes.
Oh. All right.
This is information that has not gone out to the public at all. So I'm wondering where Harvey just got the balls to just come out and say this, right? Because this is something that he's protected for over a month. But all of a sudden he's just going to drop it on Ashley's podcast. That makes sense.
Right. And so let's be clear.
And I want to say one other thing.
Yeah.
When I talked to somebody from the FBI today, this person wanted us to repeat that there is still a $1 million, actually $1.1 million reward out there. So, they're hoping, because they believe money can be a motivator here. And that's why they're doing it. But they wanted that word out because they feel like people have kind of forgotten it. But there's a lot of money on the line for information.
And I think it's even up to 1.2 million with the different sources. But 1-800-CALL-FBI. I say it on every podcast, 1-800-CALL-FBI. If you know anything, if anybody acted weird, on February 1st, even 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th of the next week, when the video came out of the masked man, that guy had to be scared. He had to act differently that day. I always say, for people who think that someone they know acted in a weird way in those dates, 1-800-CALL-FBI. Harvey, the letters that came out today to you, it seems like there's a mixed message. Like in the first letter, does he say she's dead? And then the second letter to you today, he says, I saw her alive with them in Sonora?
No, he never said she was alive at all. He says she's dead.
But he just said after you talked about, when you did your TMZ live today, they sent a second letter saying, quote, I saw her alive with them in the state of Sonora, Mexico. Maybe he's referring in past tense, because in the first letter they said she's dead.
Somebody wake him up. Somebody wake up Harvey.
Past tense. It's past tense. Yeah,
and so now
I saw her. He's saying I saw her alive with them in the state of Sonora, Mexico. My request is not huge. And he goes on. He's talking about, he says he saw her there, but he's talking
past
back
tense.
then.
Yeah. And now he's definitive that
yeah.
Nancy, he says, if this person is truthful, he's saying that Nancy is dead.
Now, again, I talked to the FBI about this. I had a fairly long conversation today. And, it's just, I've gotten to know some of these people, and
Cindy,
we were just talking, and I said, look, I feel,
what's up, Cindy? How are you? Welcome.
Kind of out of place to even say it, but there's just something that's been gnawing at me with these letters.
So why in the fuck are you saying anything in the first place, Harvey? That shit don't make any sense.
And we were just talking, and I said, look, I feel
like how fucking horrible would that be, right? Because TMZ always has to be that person or that outlet that always leaks shit before the family knows, right? Like, look what happened to Kobe, right? When Kobe died, Vanessa Bryant found out via TMZ, right? They didn't even have a chance for law enforcement to go over to Vanessa and let him know that Kobe had passed away and died in a helicopter crash, and so did his daughter, right? Like, how fucked up is that? What if Savannah had no idea that she was dead, and here Harvey is, on a podcast with Ashley Banfield, just letting everybody know she's dead.
Fairly long conversation today. And, it's just, I've gotten to know some of these people, and we were just talking. And I said, look, I feel kind of out of place to even say it. But there's just something that's been gnawing at me with these letters that, this guy knows it's a federal crime. He keeps sending these notes. And it was that whole thing about time is no longer of the essence. And they said, yeah, we hear you, but, there are a lot of crackpots out there. So maybe they know something.
Crackpots and crack pipes and crackheads?
I mean, I'm sure they do, that I don't know. But on the one hand, they seem to be dismissing it. On the other hand, I can tell you they spent a heck of a lot of time trying to track down this guy's email, and they weren't able to do it. I'll tell you, that's the craziest thing about this, Ashley, is that this is 2026. Yeah. And when you look at it, it's like the perfect crime that I didn't think that existed anymore, but that you can kidnap somebody from a residential area where there are cameras that people have in their homes, and yet you can't find the car, and that you've got these emails and you can't trace the emails, and you got these Bitcoin addresses. And I can tell you that the FBI did something with that Bitcoin address from the kidnapper, and they actually did something, came up dry there. And I just never thought of the perfect crime being something like this, where somehow you could evade everyone. Now, there were clearly mistakes made, especially by the sheriff. Nonetheless, the FBI came in and they got nothing. And in 2026, it is really stunning.
Yeah, I mean, you've got all of the opportunities for the regular forensics to work, right? A guy's got a bite light in his mouth, which he had to put in and take out, maybe with those gloved fingers, and touch something. Door handles to get in, the actual bracket behind the camera, which he's messing with. There's all sorts of opportunities to find that, right? There's a vehicle that he had to have conveyed Nancy in. You can't take her on a bike or a moped, Then there's the digital trail, and none of this is working.
It's crazy.
By the way, you guys, Yoshi says hello.
And we cover so many cases, as do you, where people make mistakes, they get spotted, and he just disappeared.
Yeah, vanished. And as did she, which is just so. Tell me about the frustration in this latest email from this perpetrator, or at least the person who suggests he knows the perpetrators. I would consider this a perpetrator as well. He feels like millions of dollars have been wasted, yet here I am willing.
I need help, you guys. Yoshi's really trying to. He wants some raisins. I don't know. He's going crazy over here. He thinks he can have some chocolate-covered raisins. This fool's tripping.
To deliver them on a silver platter, meaning willing to deliver the kidnappers. And he's talking plural. I don't know if he's talking about them in plural or them in the singular sense.
He's constantly talked about them in plural.
He is?
Yeah.
And he seems angry that the FBI is dismissing him.
He's been kind of bent out of shape from almost the beginning, saying everybody thinks.
Hey, guys, if you guys are on the Discord, right? We got a pets channel, so everybody can share their pets. Everybody's doing it.
I'm crazy. They don't take me seriously. He's gone on and on about this. And he says, at different times, at one point he said he had a criminal record. I forgot what he said the crime was, but it was some kind of burglary or something like that. and that he was worried that they might try and implicate him, and he would have to go underground, take care of his family, he said, and that's why he needed the money. So, you know, he's kind of given this life story in kind of a weird way over a series of letters, but that's his point. He's saying that I'm going to be put out a lot by cooperating, so make it worth my while.
Well, what doesn't
and
make
worth my
sense?
while is a Bitcoin, and now he's saying, give me half a Bitcoin up front, and I'll give you the info.
Half a Bitcoin's about $35,000. A full Bitcoin is about 69 or so today. It's gone down since the original overtures, but $1.2 million would certainly guarantee.
You see the way Harvey looked right there? Hold on.
Today, it's gone down since the original overtures, but
that guy is a zombie walking. Damn. Poor Harvey.
$1.2 million would certainly guarantee him a whole lot of freedom and protection from whoever it is he fears. It just doesn't make any sense. Are you able to email him back?
No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Yeah, and we, you know, he addressed the reward. I don't know if he addressed it after they made it 1 million, but when it was 100,000, he said, I don't trust the FBI. That's why he started contacting us. He said, I don't trust the FBI. So, you know, he said, we're going to you guys. And we ended up doing, you know, social media, which he saw. And we said, look, if you don't trust the FBI, give us the information and we'll convey it to the FBI. But now you've got a record through us that you've given us information. So they're not going to screw you out of the money if you really believe they would do that, because we have the record that you gave it to us and we gave it to the FBI, but he didn't do it.
Well, you're playing checkers and maybe he's playing chess, and suddenly he didn't know what to do other than just rant and get angry and just try again. I know your time is precious, and I'm just very appreciative of the time that you've given us. Keep me posted. Let me know if you hear again.
Yeah, I mean, you'll be my second call.
Right? Well,
there you go. Ashley Banfield has revealed her sources.
She belongs to the streets. Honestly, I mean, we're giving everything to the FBI when we get it. I just don't think they are looking at this in a real serious way. And I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just telling you what my spidey senses say. And I may be all wrong here too.
1-800-CALL-FBI. Anybody who sees this, and we've got thousands watching. So thank you, Harvey. I appreciate you telling us about this.
My pleasure, Ashley.
So,
and we're done with that. So I want to turn our attention. So that's day 65, all in a nutshell, you guys. I want to move on to another topic really quick, but I just seen a video on X, and it's not related to the case, but it is related to the case. So I'm going to share this. But earlier today, JLR was on the phone with a caller and apparently kind of got into it with this person. And want to show you guys what kind of took place, because I was literally coming home from the grocery store, just got off of work, and then I leave my TV playing for my dog so he doesn't feel so lonely. But I want you guys to check this out. So somebody posted, Diva Adventures posted, a big mad caller. Jonathan, you are not on national TV, unhinged. Grifter, YouTube screets. How many of you guys seen this clip? Type a 1 in the chat if you guys have already seen this clip. Type 2 if you have not. This one, it got pretty good. Play it.
Mysterious. Mysterious. What about a white Kia?
Someone said a white Kia went by. If it did, hopefully I filmed it. I don't know. But, you know, there's a lot of white Kias. But we also have other cameras out here now. I guess we can say it like that.
I got a local number calling me. Let me call you right back.
Yeah, hit me back.
Hello.
Hey, why'd you beat the shit out of Magnolia, you fucking faggot?
Who are you?
Huh? Your worst fucking nightmare, that's who.
520 855-6897. What's your name?
JLR.
What's your name?
JLR.
Your name is JLR?
Yep.
You got 12,000 people listening to you. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, tell us about how you beat the shit out of Magnolia. Go ahead. Tell us.
Are you going to come down and talk to me in person?
Oh, you don't want me to come down and talk to you in person.
Why not?
Beat the shit out of you.
You'll do what? You would do what to
I
me?
will beat the living shit out of you. That's what I said.
Why? Why?
You really want me to come down there?
Will you?
If you want an ass beating, I will.
Really? You sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure? You already just committed a crime.
Oh, no.
You already just committed a crime on national TV.
You're on fucking YouTube, stupid fuck. You're not on fucking national TV.
You just committed a crime.
Oh, why? What did I do?
Terroristic threats. Terroristic threats.
Oh no. What are we gonna
You just
do?
committed a misdemeanor on national TV. You just threatened me on national TV. Now I got your number. This is your number. This is your number. You just threatened me on national TV. 520-585-6897. Now you're saying derogatory current terms to me?
Yeah, you're a faggot.
Wow. That's another crime, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it's not.
All right, well, your threats were.
No, they weren't.
I'm going to report you to police.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
All right.
All right, good deal.
All right.
Now, are you going to tell us about how you beat the shit out of Magnolia?
You just committed a crime.
Why are you avoiding the subject?
Why are you threatening me?
Why are you avoiding the subject?
I'm going to go over there to the Circle K by the sheriff's office. You going to come meet me?
Perfect. I'll be there in 15 minutes.
All right, we'll see.
Okay.
All right, we'll see.
You better be there.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
You're probably going to go to jail. You're probably going to go to jail.
You know you like to beat the shit out of women, so I know you're not going to do anything to me.
Well, I'm going over to the Circle K to use the restroom in about 15 minutes.
You stalk women and beat the shit out of them.
What's your name?
Tell us
What's your
about
name?
your wife.
What's your name?
Tell us about your kids.
What's your name?
What did you do
What
to
is your
wife and
name?
kid? What did you do to your wife and
What
kids,
is your name?
JLR. That's my fucking name, pussy.
All right.
Are you heading to Circle K
All right.
or not?
What are you going to do at the Circle K?
Oh, we're going to have a chat.
We're going to have a chat?
Yikes.
Yeah.
We're going to have a chat.
Mano a mano.
Oh. Well, you know you got 12,000 people listening to you. I don't know, man.
What does that have to do anything?
Well, you already committed a crime.
I didn't commit a crime.
You didn't, huh?
I haven't. Nope.
Yo, what the fuck? What the hell did we just watch? This shit just never stops, you guys. For those of you guys that watch content creators on YouTube, right, including myself, it sucks when you kind of lose sight of what everybody is there for, and everybody's there for to find Nancy, right? I'm gonna turn this off real quick. It sucks. It sucks to see that, you know, this is what it's come to, right? I don't know. There's not much you can say. I really wonder what happened afterwards. I'm curious if we should just go look for the stream to find out what happened afterwards, because I want to know. I want to know. Did he? Let's see. Sorry, I'm just trying to find it. Let me see.
Clip it. Send it to me. You could text it to me. Number. This is your number. You just threatened me on national TV. 520 585 6897. Now you're saying derogatory terms to me?
Yeah, you're a faggot.
Wow.
All right,
that's another crime, I guess.
This stream is definitely going to get flagged.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it's not.
All right, well, your threats were?
No, they weren't.
I'm going to report you to police.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
All right.
All right, good deal.
All right.
No, are you going to tell us about how you beat the shit out of Magnolia?
You just committed a crime.
Why are you avoiding the subject?
Why are you threatening me?
Why are you avoiding the subject?
I'm going to go over there to the Circle K by the sheriff's office. You going to come meet me?
Perfect. I'll be there in 15 minutes.
All right, we'll see.
Okay.
All right, we'll see.
You better be there.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
You're probably going to go to jail. You're probably going to go to jail.
You know you like to beat the shit out of women, so I know you're not going to do anything to me.
Well, I'm going over to the Circle K to use the restroom in about 15 minutes.
You stalk women and beat the shit out of them.
What's your name?
Tell us what.
What's your
Tell us about
name?
your wife.
What's your name?
Tell us about your kid.
What's your name?
What'd you do?
What
to
is your
wife and
name?
kid? What did you do to your wife? And
What
kid,
is your name?
JLR. That's my fucking name, pussy.
All right.
Are you heading to the Circle K
All right.
or not?
What are you going to do at the Circle K?
Oh, we're going to have a chat.
We're going to have a chat?
Yeah.
We're going to have a chat.
Mano a mano.
Oh. Well, you know you got 12,000 people listening to you. I don't know, man.
What does that have to do anything?
Well, you already committed a crime.
I didn't commit a crime.
You didn't, huh?
I haven't. Nope.
I mean, I'm going to report you.
I don't give a fuck, dude. Report me.
I will.
Okay.
I press charges,
I'm
too.
not a little woman that you can beat the shit out of.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
I'm giving your number to law enforcement, and I'm filing a police report. Maybe I'll do it on live, Tim. Maybe I'll go right around the corner and do it while I'm on live and say, this number called me on national TV.
Tell us about the time.
All right. You want to report him? Let's report him. 520. Let's see who he is first. All right. Anybody, send me who that guy belongs to. This guy. 520. Ooh.
Isn't that considered doxing? Shit, I'm gonna have to fucking clip this whole entire video, make sure that number is gone. Fuck. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Does anybody know if anything happened after this?
Hi, Linda. How are you? Somebody.
I don't know if you remember this
Phoenix area, kind of west of Phoenix. That's kind of more like where I search for gold, but
cool. We should go to Bisbee.
Oh, all right. Well, let's hold on. Let me find something else. Hold on really quick, because I told you we were going to talk about this. Let me find. So we're going to kind of turn our attention over to X. We're going to check out Steve Fisher, because Steve Fisher is now back. I think he was in Arizona on another search. And as you guys can see, his last tweet to the world was March 23rd, which was literally about like, he was gone for a little over a week and a half, and everybody got scared. People were freaking out because they were like, oh my God, this case has gone cold because SF has not given us anything. Where is he? Right? Turns out SF was on a search. I think he was in Arizona. Could have been in Arizona. I don't know. He's been back and forth, right? But today, people finally heard from him, and he has finally returned. to X put out a tweet today that said, I don't know if this is correct. I think this might be a few days off, but it said yesterday marked 7 months since David's Tesla. Oh, okay. Okay, because it was towed on the 5th, September 5th. You're right. Yesterday marked 7 months since David's Tesla was towed with Celeste Rivas Hernandez's dismembered body in the front trunk. 7 months, and we still have nothing but sealed medical examiner records. A sworn affidavit used to testify sealing those records claimed that LAPD only wanted to ensure they received the report before the public. Yet the report, which should be public, remains sealed. I believe it remains sealed because its content would spark public outrage and a demand for answers that law enforcement and prosecutors have failed to provide. They have not even held a basic press conference, something routinely done in high-profile cases. A dismembered 14-year-old does not appear to warrant informing the public, even though a murderer or multiple perpetrators may still be free among us. As far as I'm concerned, this has been a complete failure. I also cannot understand why the family has remained silent. Are they concerned about what they knew? Or are they being intimidated? Or is justice for Celeste slowly fading away? Yes, cases can take time, especially when there is no clear starting point, but this is not the situation here. Criminal grand juries also do not investigate indefinitely. In Los Angeles County, criminal grand juries are typically impaneled for 30 days. When a new grand jury is seated, they are provided prior materials, but they did not hear the testimony themselves. In many ways, the process starts over. Since David's parents appealed, the previous grand jury's terms has now expired. Here we go again. No indictment, no press conference, no press release, no answers, no justice. Hashtag Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Hashtag fail. Storm, good night. Good night, Storm. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for hanging out. What are you guys' thoughts, you guys? Thoughts. The family knew from the start the LAPD was not going to do crap. So David is guilty. You think this is the reason why they are quiet? Do you think that has anything to do? Thank you, Storm, for hanging out. Electric Snail said, I'm losing hope too. It's not a good feeling. Cindy Lean said, I missed the last part. Since David's parents appealed, the previous grand jury's terms have now expired. Here we go again. Brandon said, now seriously, with my knowledge of the industry, I'm absolutely gobsmacked at how sloppy this was handled, yet effective in that there will be no justice. Katsier says, family may be scared, so much corruption. Viking Woman said, I think we will hear something closer to her year anniversary. That means that we have to, what is it, April now? We've got to wait another 5 more months until we get close to September. That is crazy. Cindy, so I think basically what he's saying is since David's parents appealed, the previous grand jury's terms has now expired. So he was saying in his tweet earlier that grand juries are only impaneled for about 30 days, and every 30 days they have to get a new grand jury. I don't know how that necessarily works, but I'm assuming he's saying that since the family has appealed, that old grand jury, their panel has expired, so there should be a new grand jury. So I don't know, you guys. How are you guys feeling about this case? This case fucking sucks, to be honest with you. It's so heartbreaking how little exposure she is getting. Sorry, I was just reading who don't have Cash App? What? I believe David paid off LAPD to screw up the case and get rid of information. I'm calling it. I don't care if they get mad or not. Electric Snail says, I'm sick of the excuses from everyone involved. It's time for someone to say something. Didn't you already today? Yeah, it's wild. It's heartbreaking, right? Yep. Every day that goes by, we know that it's another day that justice is not served for a little 14-year-old girl who was murdered and dismembered and stuffed in a front trunk of a Tesla. Crazy. Crazy. You know what's even crazier is that if David is innocent and David did not do anything, it's still taken them this long to find someone to hold them responsible, to hold someone accountable. It's taken over 7 months, right? And with the technology that our law enforcement has, maybe the FBI, because we don't know if FBI is involved or not. We know absolutely nothing. Electric Snail says, yes, I did. Today I have emailed the DA's office, the LAPD, and the California Attorney General's office in regard to Celeste's case and the handling of it, the lack of transparency and public updates. I have respectfully requested that both the LAPD and DA's office provide an update, as well as requested that the AG office takes a look into the case and the handling of evidence, as well as lack of transparency. Yep. That's crazy. I think the only thing that we can do is just keep talking about it and not forget, right? I mean, unless people want to go protest in LA, who wants to do that? Anybody out there want to do that? I don't want to stay on this topic too long because obviously there's not much. Oops, sorry. Oops. But we will continue to talk about Celeste's name. Cindy, thank you so much for your $10 super chat. You said thanks. I'm saying thanks right back at you. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Since you're in LA, you should make flyers before you leave on Thursday. Yes, you absolutely should if you can. Right? You absolutely should if you can. Or we can do what Snails did, could make a day of it together. Yeah, everybody should, right? And I think if you go on Reddit, if you guys are still in the Reddits, I think there's a petition out there. I encourage you guys to sign. Make sure you guys sign it. Let me see. Let me see. Wait, so little TJ? All right, I'm going to turn this. We're going to go ahead and talk about the Offset shooting that took place in Florida, but we're going to go let Seti Cash kind of fill us in because he probably knows way more than I. Let me go ahead and share this really quick. So earlier this evening, Offset from the rap group Migos was shot near a casino in Florida, right? That's pretty much all I know. So we're going to let him take care of this.
Evo Huncho with the prayer hands emoji. They done popped Offset. Offset shot near Florida casino. Offset, the former Migos rapper, was shot near a popular casino in Florida. A rep for a rapper confirms to TMZ. Offset was shot Monday near the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. Per the spokesperson, Offset is fine and is currently at the hospital receiving medical care. The rep added, he is stable and being closely monitored. Then it goes on to say Offset was all smiles moments before being shot. Offset was all smiles and showing love to fans just moments before he was shot outside of Florida casino, TMZ has learned. Witnesses tell us rapper the rapper, was inside the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood around 7:10 p.m. Monday, moments before the shooting, and he was in great spirits. We're told Offset was standing near an exit, looking toward the valet area while talking on his phone. During that time, fans approached him, and he happily engaged. We're told he shook hands, posted for photos, and chatted briefly with supporters with no hesitation and no signs anything was off. A witness tells us he seemed relaxed and friendly. Moments later, gunfire erupted outside the valet area. Monday QR code or link in the description to get you paid to play some games. Listen, earn up to $500 a doggone month when you do. That's free cash and SETI Nash. $5 for that. We ain't gonna cuss, no. But play some games, get paid. Hell, play this in the background if you got that YouTube Premium. And that right there will take y'all where y'all need to be. Couple of games to play, money on me. Well, money on them. I ain't got that type of money. But they do. They got it for you. Hit that QR code or link in the description. Enjoy your Monday. Enjoy this video. Let's go. Damn. All right. Well, we don't want it to be, God forbid, another takeoff situation, man. So prayers to him, but he's going to be all right because he got shot in his butt. Shot right in the cheek.
What?
By who, though, Nash? I mean, you probably know who did it, right? Well, I want y'all to watch this video, and it reveals actually who did it because they're sitting in the car.
Shot him, man. Gun violence. You're in the casino in Hard Rock. He's still going. He's still mad. They got this guy detained. He shot a guy. The guy they shot. Oh my God. Oh, you crazy?
I don't know what's going on.
So from that clip, you can actually see there is Offset on the ground and another person who's wrestling away. That's Lil TJ. I want y'all to see this BS. I want to play the clip because how y'all think it actually started out might have went a little bit like this. Breaking reportedly, Offset and TJ, well, Lil TJ, both shot in Miami at the Hard Rock Casino. Details still coming in. And then academics go ahead and say, breaking reportedly, Offset and Lil TJ both shot in Miami at a Hard Rock Casino. Details still coming in. Don't believe anybody with an A and a K in their name. I don't give a damn who it is because I'm going to break it for y'all.
Nigga argue with Offset, y'all.
That's only a picture, goddamn. You ain't that much of a celebrity, bro. You ain't that much of a celebrity, bro. That's only guy for a picture. I'm not supposed to a picture. Goddamn, we black people.
Damn.
If you listen to the report, slow it down. Yeah, Lil TJ was there. But the police report says one person shot. We all confirmed the one person that was shot. That was Offset. What we did not see is a report that said two people shot. Now, unless my mind then dropped off and went somewhere, I would think, why the hell would the police be wrestling a person like that who was just shot? Because actually, he was the shooter. That's why Lil TJ is in the back of the car right now. Now, the question is what the hell happened? And why did it happen? I don't have the why for you, and I wouldn't put it out there anyways if I knew. But what I will say is this. Lil TJ got his ass kicked. We talking high Yukins, right, left, hook, jump, all that stuff. He was getting whooped by Offset. So in the midst of him getting beat up by Offset and taking all type of lefts and rights and everything like that, he was in the losing position. Offset walked away. Offset got Dauphine and popped in the booty. Hey, it is what it is. That's what happened. And you know that's what happened because you see Offset on the ground and you see Lil TJ wrestling. Cops will not be putting you in a damn squad car shot unless they had to hurry up and rush you because the ambulance couldn't get there in time. RIP Street. So when y'all say this shit, I want y'all to slowly read what the hell happened. So all the other people who try to break the news and missing bits and pieces and parts, I'm telling you right now, Lil TJ is the one who shot him. But here's the caveat. Lil TJ got a homeboy with him. So they may say that Lil TJ actually is the one who didn't shoot, that his homeboy shot him after Lil TJ got his ass beat. That may be what happened. But from what I'm hearing, it was Lil TJ who shot him. Now, possibly his homeboy shot him. We don't know. Maybe his homeboy tried to conceal the weapon, try to run with it, or, held the gun and walked off or something. Hell if I know. There's a bunch of stories to make out of that. But one thing's for certain, two things for sure. We know right now that Lil TJ is being detained as the shooter. The biggest question is, can he get away with self-defense? I doubt it highly because he was walking away, meaning offset. So you shooting him walking away, hey, there is no threat. But I don't know how Florida laws go. Maybe it's assault with a deadly, or maybe it's attempted murder. Because remember when Plaza said in that damn song, in that intro, you shoot a nigga in the leg, they send you like you killed him. We talking about Florida. So right now as it stands, Lil TJ in a whole lot of trouble. If this was Texas, you can bet his ass will be getting a bond by the early morning. But it's Florida. I don't know about Florida. It ain't too many cases about Florida. But I will say this, man. We seen how that man walk around with no doggone security, no doggone nothing, just him by himself. We even seen it that they said, oh, he just stood at the valet by himself. Bro, you all said, bro, you do a lot of geeking and gawking and talking and all that. Now, whatever may have happened with Lil TJ, hell if I know. I know if I'm going to shoot you in the ass, you owe me some money. That's me personally. That's what I would do. So if it ain't about no bread and y'all fighting and you happen to lose and you just popped him, and that's the sucker shit. Take your L, bro. But hey, if you say I'm leaving here with something, your ass is mine, boom, hey, I ain't gonna be too mad at it. A little zesty if you ask me, but shit, he might be John Wick because placing that shot right there in his ass like a BBL, I don't know, bro. Might Slightweight be genius. Y'all, let me know y'all thoughts on this one, man. You made it this far. Click right here, though, to watch how Big 30 got treated like Pooh Shiesty's daddy, but something else get revealed. Gucci not snitching. Check it out. Hey, we giving these two.
All right, let me put out Seti's channel in the chat. You guys go follow him. He actually covers the David and Celeste Rivas Hernandez case a lot too. So he was putting out a lot of videos when a lot of stuff was coming out. But anyways, you guys, I think that is going to be it. Did I miss the super chat or something? Oh, Cindy, we did. We shouted Cindy out. All right, you guys, let me just make sure I shout out everybody who supported the channel tonight. I think we are going to be calling it a night. Damn, I haven't even eaten dinner yet. Kokomon, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. Cindy from sunny South Florida for your $5 super chat. Kokomon with the $10 super chat. Kokomon gifted another 5. Gold Digger gifted 1 membership. Felicia gifted 1 membership. Kokomon gifted another 5. Rona did 1. I did 5. Kokomon did another 5. The Boss Bish with 50 gifted memberships. I donated 5 and then I rock gifted 5. Boss Bitch did another 10. Coco Mom did 10. I did 10. The Boss Bitch did another 20. Rocco celebrating 1 month as a member of the Inner Circle. And then, oh, I didn't even shout this person out. Oh, forgive me for butchering your name. Afiru Wangalirgo, 84.75 for your $1.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Cindy Leanne, for your $10 super chat. And wait, hold on. What the heck? Kokomon, you're still here? Holy Lord, Kokomon just gifted another 5 memberships, you guys. Whoa. Kokomon, I thought you were sleeping already. What? Thank you so much, Kokomon. Appreciate you. Look at y'all superstars. Superstars. All right, you guys, hold on. There you go. I'm about to lose my voice. I haven't spoken in like a week. But we've been on for almost 3 hours, you guys. So I appreciate all of you guys that help support the channel. Do me a favor, hit that like button. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I promise to be on more often, you guys. I'm just getting back into it. If you guys could do me a favor, after the video is over, run back to the video and check to see if you can hype the video. And if you can, do me a solid and just hype the video, you guys. I'd appreciate it. Anyways, thank you guys so much. For all of you guys that are still here, Cindy Lean, the Boss Bitch, Goal, Tina Marie, Cat's Your Viking, Viking Woman still here, Jad. Who else is still here? Abraham, Electric Snails, Secret Shade, David is Guilty, and then I Rock. Brandon, if you're still here, Cat's here. Abraham, who else? Leah, if you're still here. Thank you all for hanging out tonight. I will definitely see you guys hopefully soon. And I'm going to post the link, right? If you are a member now, you were gifted. We gave out about, I don't know, 100 memberships tonight. If you are, I'm going to be posting a link to the Discord. So you guys should definitely join afterwards. That's going to be it, you guys. Let me just turn off all these comments, the banner, and all of this stuff right over here. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys for hanging out. Again, my name is Flojo. This is Filling in the Gaps, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out, you guys.